Alright, let me do this.
Alrighty. Wow, there's a lot of people already. Okay, so we're all ready. We're all live. So yeah,
Let's establish some.
Yeah, let's establish some information. Let's give our exposition. So, obviously you know what we think about Deadpool and Wolverine. It's great, and people are fat about it. No, Far From Home.
Bro, you should get that food out of your mouth before you
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Far From Home, we rewatched it recently. Myself, Colin, and Stir, we rewatched it. Very bad. 2 out of 10.
Absolutely trash.
Peter Parker is heavily character assassinated. Like, this is character assassinate Peter Parker the movie. That's what it is. It assassinates Tony Stark, a dead character. The villain's motivation
multiple times.
Yeah, it's
multiple times as well.
Assassination of Tony Stark. The villain's an
Shield.
idiot. Yeah,
Shield is character assassination. The entire basis for Mysterio doesn't work at all on a plot level if Talos is even remotely competent. They literally have a fucking in Captain Marvel. It's established that the Skrulls can get the recent memories and thoughts of people who they body swap.
Which is like, so Mysterio can't go anywhere. He's done.
His whole plan doesn't work if Talos was even remotely competent. I don't either.
Why can't you just make Nick Fury and have him be smart as he is?
Well, because then the movie wouldn't work, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Then it'd be perfect. But yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. I don't think there's any... Oh, the plot armor is really bad in the final act.
Yeah. All right. Let's bring in Starkstar. Let's start it off. Let's start it off with Starkstar. Starkstar.
Do you think it's better or worse than Amazing Spider-Man 2? This is worse than Amazing Spider-Man 2.
This is the worst Spider-Man movie. Fuck you, SK. Oh, I'm also gonna be making a video. Why the fuck is my room so fucking dark? Holy shit. Hold on.
Someone said, more brain dead arguments, let's go. Well, you know what to do. You know what to do.
I don't know why my shit's like this. It was never like this before. But what's it called?
Starkstar is deaf, and what the hell?
Yeah, I don't think he's here. What was I about to say? I'm making a video on Far From Home after my birthday. My birthday is the 1st. The next day I will be probably not able to function, and then after that I'm gonna work on the Far From Home video. Alright, bring in... Alright, bro, what the fuck does Kairito want, bro? What do you want, Kairito?
What?
What do you want?
What do I want?
I thought you agreed with this, Kairito.
I did, bro. I asked you to...
So then that's an agreement, so then you're gone.
Bro.
Alright, let's bring Cornier.
Thank you for the happy birthdays.
Cornier, you're on the line. What's the disagreement to tell us why?
So, Far From Home, when I watched it, seemed like a pretty okay movie. Haven't really seen if you've done a video on it or not. So where are you getting a 2 out of 10 from?
I mean, we kind of just explained it, but let's start off with the biggest problem of the movie that like just breaks the entire fucking thing. So in Captain Marvel, it is established that also for anybody, before I say this, for anybody that's wants to have this disagreement, if you're here already, just listen to the criticisms we have so you don't have to repeat them, or so we don't have to repeat them. But yeah, so the biggest problem in the movie that breaks the entire plot is the fact that the Skrulls, when they take someone's body, they attribute the recent memories of someone. So if Talos was even remotely competent, plus they're a little fishy and about Beck to begin with. So if he was even remotely competent, he could have just scanned his recent memories and stuff to see if he was lying or not.
Which should be standard protocol when you meet someone new of interest.
Also, if they did a simple background check on him, they would have figured out that he was fired from Stark Industries and possibly found out the reason he was fired, which was because he was emotionally unstable.
Yep.
Wouldn't that give away the fact that he's a Skrull?
Not if he does it seclusively.
Also, I mean,
So you'd have to get back alone with him.
No, he could do it from a distance.
Well, also, there's another way you can do it.
Hold on, I want to say this real quick. We see in Captain Marvel that like someone's like 200, 300 feet away from them, and he's able to take their like scan them or whatever.
Well, yeah, and even then, like you have Agent Hill and Nick Fury. They're both Skrulls. Fury can be like, "Hey, I need Agent Hill to go work on, I don't know, the tech or something." Agent Hill walks away, so Mysterio doesn't know where Agent Hill is, and then he calls in he pretends that the Skrull is just a different agent and says, "Hey, I need you to fact check what he's saying." And then once the Skrull changes into Mysterio, it's like, "Oh, okay, so you're up to no good. You're lying about the whole thing. You created the elementals with illusion tech." So like that's just done straight away. The plot doesn't work.
All right, so two things. First off, if I remember correctly, the only time they revealed that they were Skrulls was during the end credit scene. So before the end credits, how would you rate the movie? Until you watch that reveal.
Probably a 3 still, 2, 3, or I don't know. It's not that much higher. There's still a lot of problems.
All right, well, let's go into that. I haven't watched Captain Marvel. The only thing I know about Skrulls is from the Nick Fury show.
Okay.
And in that one, they needed to, I think it was touch or, yeah, it was they touched someone and then they turn into them, and they end up kidnapping people so they can actually have their memories accessed.
Well, that's not how it works in the MCU.
I got you. Like I said, didn't watch Captain Marvel.
All right. Well, then I guess the next issue would be let's start with Peter. So I think very clear cut. I feel like this is very much indefensible. So Peter is told, my world got. Mysterio says we could use someone like you on my world. He's like, wait, your world? And he says, yeah, my world. You know, I was with a battalion trying to fight off these elementals, which exist in your world as well. We got them all except the fire elemental. That one, most powerful, destroyed my entire world. And he makes it clear, his efforts with the battalion wasn't enough to destroy the fire elemental. Fire elemental is on Peter's Earth now. And then he's like, well, what about the Avengers? What about them? And they're like, nope, not available, not available, not available. So he is their last hope to saving the entire world. And he lies to get out of it. One of the things he says is, well, my aunt will kill me if I help. Which is like, okay, so that's a lie. She passed the suit for a situation like this.
Well, the other thing is like, oh, my identity, blah blah blah. When earlier in the movie he literally like tried to help with the water monster despite that, so that's irrelevant. Plus your identity is not going to matter much if the entire world gets destroyed. And then the other thing,
identity in the movie.
yeah, that too. But the other thing is he's like, I wanted this weekend with MJ. She's gonna die. Anyway, so.
Yeah.
All right, so which part of this is character breaking? Is it the fact that he's being selfish, or
the fact that he won't help?
It's a breaking logic?
The fact that he won't help.
The fact that he won't help. Like I said, when he's not helping, this is the character being selfish. Is that out of character for him?
Well,
why?
Even for a
Yes. Well, first of all, the basis of him.
Let me just make it clear: not even Homelander would be this stupid. like Homelander would do it.
Really?
Yeah, and I'll tell you.
Homelander causes the problem half the time. I don't think that's a good
but,
comparison.
But Homelander still cares about how he's perceived on Earth, right? He still wants acceptance and validation, right? So he wouldn't let the world get destroyed. And by that same token, Peter wouldn't want Aunt May to die, Happy to die, MJ to die, Ned to die, everybody he loves to
Himself
die.
to die.
Himself to die. And that ultimately makes Tony Stark's sacrifice, like, meaningless on Earth.
So, I do not think it's a logical decision on Peter's part, but it is still in his character at this moment.
No.
After the events of Infinity War Endgame,
Infinity War makes...
where he jumps at the chance to save the world, and it gets him killed, and half the universe killed for 5 years. Then he comes back, and then his mentor dies, like his benefactor.
Mm-hmm.
So all of this hero stuff that he has been aspiring towards became very, very real. A little too real.
Okay, so
and remember this Peter has not had the great responsibility speech yet.
No, he has.
He had that if you do the things I do and if you can do the things I can and you don't help, it's kind of your fault. That's not the same thing.
It literally is the same thing.
No, it is not. It's not.
Yes, it is. What do you mean? Okay, wait. Explain how it's not the same thing.
With great power comes great responsibility. It is a mantle you must uphold, and it is bestowed on him by someone else. In his story, when he says when you do the things I can and you don't, it's your fault. Like I said, it's a different connotation. It's that.
Well, it still applies in this context. If you do nothing about the world dying, then that's your fault.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you're saying there's a different connotation. Like, it's pretty much the exact same thing, just worded differently.
No, it's a different connotation because this is not something these aren't words that another person gave to him that then died. Like the impact of the great power speech when Uncle Ben died was that it follows a loss, so he takes that upon himself afterwards. And like in No Way Home, when he gets the speech again, and then Aunt May dies.
Yeah, but
that.
So if we ignore that, didn't Tony literally say to him, "If you're nothing without the suit, you shouldn't have it," and he died to save the universe? So by that logic, like, why wouldn't you take that into account? If you're nothing without the suit, you shouldn't have it.
I still don't even see, I wouldn't even say that because I would just still fall back on literally what he says. He says verbatim, when you can do the things that I do, and then the bad things happen, they happen because of you. Which implies to himself already that if someone dies and he did nothing about it, that's his fault. And in this case, in Far From Home, when the world dies and he did nothing about it, that's partly his fault.
And in Infinity War, when he did something about it, and half the universe died.
Why did he help at Endgame then? And why did he help fight the water monster?
Because, well, for the water monster, they were attacking him and his friends like directly, like they were in the same city. He didn't seek out that fight. It just kind of happened to him.
But he could have left.
He could have ran away. He could have dipped.
No, because his class was stuck there. Like
his class is going to be stuck 10 feet under if the fire elemental gets through. Sure.
I'm saying in that moment, there wasn't much other choice than fight.
The same applies.
Right.
Other than just cower with your classmates and pretend not to be a superhero.
And if he doesn't help, then his world will be destroyed.
And how did he help?
What do you mean? How did he help? In which
fight? How did Spider-Man, the man who can shoot webs and punch things, help
against the fire elemental? Against the fire?
Against the water.
I mean, he saved people.
Mysterio literally said, "I saw what you did at the tower. We could use someone like you on my world." He says that for.
Well, I want to say two things. I want to say two things. He saved people. He saved people from dying in the crossfire or in the midst of the fight. That's one thing. Two, he was doing stuff to the fire elemental like during the fight. Granted, him being there wasn't okay.
By the time of the fire elemental, he was already helping.
Gotcha. He was still saving lives in the midst of that.
Okay. And how does that change the stakes of the battle? How is it when he was helping with the water elemental, he was acting as like a fire rescue. He was helping people escape. He was preventing a building from falling over. Nothing in the actual fight. The entire fight was up to Mysterio, or at least that was the.
You do all right. This is getting away from the point. The point is, he can do at least something to help, and him doing literally nothing is out of character. If your entire world is gonna die, even if there's a high probability you fail and don't do much, you should still do that because your world's gonna die.
Okay. And I do not think it is out of character. It is the fallout of his character from the previous movie.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
So what happened? So basically what you're telling me is the fallout of his character in the previous movie made him suicidal, not care if he dies?
Not suicidal, selfish.
Okay, so selfish people want to be alive.
Not knowing if he wants to do this anymore. That's what I meant when I said it was a mantle he took upon himself, not one given to him.
So one, we know he's not being.
That he can drop it when he wants to.
Okay, wait. One, he's not being selfish.
Okay. So, Corneo, do you remember the reason I said Homelander would do it?
Vaguely. I don't see Homelander doing that.
I'll explain.
The
reason Homelander would do it is because Homelander wants love and validation on Earth. So if the world dies, he loses that. So he would want to, out of his own self-interest. And to be honest, can Homelander go to space? Can he even survive in space?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so if he can't survive in space, then that's also in his self-interest. If the fire elemental succeeds, he dies too. So yes, even Homelander would fight the fire elemental if he were in that situation.
No, so Homelander above and beyond isn't just selfish; he's a coward. So if something was powerful enough to destroy the entire world, it could destroy him. So at that point, he would either run away in fear or fight out of like a cornered animal would.
So fight out of self-preservation, which is what Spider-Man would do.
Not when Spider-Man's not the only person who can help. He's not even the main one.
He actually is.
He's not. He's not. The entire fight with the Elemental is between Mysterio and the.
Who lost?
And Mysterio explained that he lost before.
Yeah. So how is Spider-Man supposed to help from his perspective after the water fight?
Maybe. Oh my God. He could ask Mysterio, which he doesn't try to. He doesn't even try to work with him. He just wants to leave.
Because it's beyond his skill set.
Can we just get? Because you keep going.
That's not what Mysterio says. He says we could use someone like you on my world.
Yeah, that's admirable, but that's not like we could have used you during the fight. We wouldn't have died if you were there. That's not the same thing.
Can we just wait? Let's just nip something in the bud right now. So you said that Peter won't help because he doesn't think he's good enough, right?
Peter won't. I'm saying Peter won't help logically because it's not his skill set, and personally because he doesn't know if he wants to do this anymore.
Okay, so one, it doesn't matter if it's not in his skill set because the world is gonna die. You should do something, right?
You should.
You should. Why should you?
Because it's the good thing to do.
No.
Even if you can't help that much, it is the right thing to do.
Yeah, but there's also multiple. It's the good thing to do, and what else would it accomplish? Possibly.
Very much depends. Like I said, if it's a fight between a fire monster and a wizard, I'm not going to help much other than just help some people not die.
It could
maybe let the guy into a stretcher.
It could help the world not fucking die, right?
Right.
It could help other people, like you said, not get hit in the crossfire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're saying none of those things are in Peter's character right now.
Not right now.
Why?
Let's go. Let's do your
No,
analogy
wait,
with Homelander again.
no.
Give me
Answer.
a
Forget Homelander.
What?
Forget Homelander. Answer what I said. Why is it not in Peter's character? Everything I just laid out. Why is that not in Peter's character?
Because he doesn't want to be Spider-Man anymore. That's
He doesn't want to be Spider. Does he want to stay alive?
Ideally.
Okay. So why would he not help?
If I don't want to be a paramedic anymore, I'm not gonna like say, but people will die without me. No,
Yeah,
someone else will take my
Yeah, a
place.
paramedic's life isn't in danger by not being a paramedic or doing anything. Peter's is.
No, everyone who's helping's life is in danger.
That's irrelevant.
Look, I think you would have
If he doesn't do
have a
anything,
point. You would have a point if Shield was not involved, because from his perspective,
What the
Shield
fuck
can't
is-
do
what?
anything.
from his perspective, this guy Nick Fury, who he has never spoken to on screen before, appears in his classmate's bedroom while they're on vacation after a very traumatic series of events and questioning whether he wants to be Spider-Man anymore, and says, "Hey, we need you to help this wizard fight a monster."
Because
And he
lost
says,
against
"No.
said monster.
Can someone else do it? And said, "No, can someone else please do it?"
Yeah, and he still refuses
And they
after
are-
they say no. They say no, and he still refuses. He has
Yeah.
zero excuse.
Yeah, he does. I'm
Name one
telling
good
you
reason
his
not to
excuse,
help. Name one good reason for his character not to help.
because he's done being Spider-Man.
He's
That's-
done living if he doesn't help.
I mean, I wouldn't even say that he's quote unquote done being Spider-Man. He doesn't even say I'm done being Spider-Man. He just wants to take a break from it right now.
Yeah. Same diff.
And again, he does help with the water elementals, so
Exactly.
Yeah, he does.
even after
Okay.
getting his ass kicked, even after not being very effective against the water monster, he's still out there helping. So you're saying it's not in his character when it very much is.
I'm saying self-doubt and his selfishness is in his character right now,
He literally
because
So
he's a
says,
teenager
"Mysterio,
who has
I
gone
want
through a ton
help,
of
let
stuff.
me help." He says that verbatim in the
Sorry?
Fire Elemental. He says, "I can help, let me help."
Yeah, because he wants to save his classmates who are in danger
They're
right
gonna
now.
die from the Fire Elemental
physically.
anyway. I don't think you get that. What happens if Mysterio loses?
Same thing is gonna happen if,
No,
like I
but
said,
with
how
the Fire Elemental,
from
what
Peter's
happens if the
perspective,
world-
how
if
is he gonna be?
Mysterio
How is
loses?
he gonna be the smoking gun? From Peter's perspective, how is he gonna be the smoking gun
He
to help
didn't
this?
ask. He
When
didn't ask. He didn't try to find out. He just ignored it and he tried to leave. He tried to lie to get out of it.
Okay. I don't see this going any further. Got any other points?
Jack Kentner just said Carl's getting cooked right now, so. Alright.
So I'm gonna reevaluate my entire life now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jack
Like I said,
Kentner's-
I just think I give the teenager who just died and came back to life and fought aliens a bit of license to be a selfish dick, even if it doesn't make perfect sense logically.
Well, you're not understanding is that even if he is being selfish, it's still it goes against being selfish, which is why the Homelander example is brought up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't agree with that comparison, because Homelander is the big guns in that example. Spider-Man is not. Spider-Man is a glorified fireman and paramedic.
But even in a scenario where even if he thinks that he wouldn't, he might not be able to win. If it's threatening the entire world and himself, Homelander would still help. He would still do something.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, it was potentially they didn't confirm that the fire elemental was there. It was just that there's this process of elemental showing up and the fire elemental's at the end of it.
Well, he did confirm
What?
that. He says the Fire Elemental will show up in approximately 48 hours.
Okay. All right, so first point makes it -1. This is what, -2?
Wait, what do you mean -1? Like in the score?
Yeah, but I'm trying to argue why this 2 out of 10 movie in your review is a 6 out of 10. or like a 5.
Well, I mean, I would say
divided
those 2
like
points
5.
bring it down a lot. But we got more.
We got
So,
We'll
let
talk about
me do
busting.
the other. We can do the busting, but why don't we talk about how it destroys Tony's character? In
Tony's
like
dead.
numerous ways.
Yeah. Okay.
Um.
All right. So.
So,
Yeah. Go ahead.
do you want to go? I mean, I'll just get to the point that I have written down already. We could also talk about, or do you want to talk about Shield? I feel like that's simpler. Real quick.
No, let's go to how it destroys Tony. I want to hear that.
Well, the Shield thing's really quick. So,
Okay.
and it should be
Alright.
very simple to agree on. So you would agree that if you know there is a bomb, for example, about to do something, that Shield, like if you're Shield, you try to evacuate that building, right?
Or like fear gas announced in like 24 hours, like an Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
Is this the half of Shield that's run by Nazis or Skrulls?
Well, that's like way after now, and Shield has
good
the
people.
Shield can do this, and so could
I mean, the
Peter.
Skrulls are
with-
there now, but yeah.
Yeah, but they're still considered to be Shield, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So in the movie, there's three times actually, where Shield knows there's a big elemental thing about to happen, and they don't try at all to evacuate the city. Thank you for the $2.
Do they know where it's gonna happen,
Yes.
or like
satellites
with
confirmed.
notice,
Yes.
or is it a
It will be in.
Like, it's
they
gonna
say-
happen today.
They say it'll be in Prague in approximately 48 hours, and for that reason, that they can predict this stuff, they were calling Peter days before he got to Venice. They were trying to call him over and over again, and he wasn't answering. The reason is because they wanted to bring him over to Venice,
right?
so they knew ahead of time
also-
and didn't evacuate.
So would you agree that character assassinates Shield?
Shield?
Yes.
Not really. If I remember correctly, it was the rest of Shield that tried to nuke New York, and Fury disobeyed it.
It was a completely different circumstance.
And Avengers.
Under Fury. These are people under Fury.
Under the fake Fury?
No, under the real Nick Fury. The real Nick Fury sent
Okay.
them, and he made them do their job for him.
Okay. So let me think. He said within 48 hours.
Oh my, okay. Yes, and I want to nip this in the
Yes.
butt. Someone just said, but wait, didn't Insomniac Peter take a break because he's been Spider-Man for longer and needs a break? You know, that's a good point. But when he's
Yeah, but he had
telling
Miles.
Miles about it, he says, "I'll be here always." So if the world was going to end and Miles said, "I need your help," he would help.
The point isn't even. I don't even have a problem with Peter taking a break as being Spider-Man in the beginning of Far From Home. I have a problem with how the movie executes it. Because I actually think Far From Home had a really good opportunity for Peter to have a good character arc, and they fumbled it astronomically. But yeah, can we agree it's character assassination on Shield? Or are you still thinking?
I'm still thinking. I'm trying to remember this event when
Oh shoot.
normally 48 hours notice to an entire city is not a lot. Even if it's Shield, like telling you.
Yeah, that's even that point's kind of irrelevant.
I did not see
don't.
that.
Well, even that point's kind of irrelevant because they don't even try to.
I'm saying specifically 48 hours is a very short amount of time to organize evacuation. Most likely, all you're going to end up doing is blocking all the roads and congesting traffic
So
and panicking people.
right, but
So-
you should still try to evacuate.
You should try to evacuate areas when you can,
Right,
but
they don't do that at all.
don't since
Sorry,
they're going
the whole
into a
class
city to
doesn't
fight
even
it.
know.
And
The class doesn't even know what's gonna happen, which is a big problem. If there was an evacuation,
Yeah.
they'd know. And even then, even if they
Let's see,
couldn't, if for some reason they couldn't evacuate it, they could hack the trip and make them go somewhere else, which is what we see them do later. What they do instead with that power is they bring them to Prague by hacking their trip. So they just endangered a bunch of innocent school children for no reason.
That's a different point. That's a different
Yeah.
point. That's a different point.
I've got to watch the movie again to really know. I'll probably have more to talk about next time. But I was under the impression that Shield suspected that he was lying, but was playing along because it was too elaborate to ignore.
No.
That doesn't.
I mean,
he was lying and played along.
Well, if he suspected that would be a separate.
You
that would
need
be
to
a separate
spy
point.
on him all the time, then.
I don't think it would
Yeah,
necessarily.
I'm saying this because the actual way Beck did it was with drones, right? And considering how Spider-Man found out about it within like 2 days of knowing Beck, I would think that Shield would be able to tell that there was a shockingly low casualty amount and a lot of damage would look more like bullet holes than anything. Because like for the water elemental, I can see how that works. The drones fly underwater and lift it up to make the waves. But
well, that's
for the fire,
that's another problem in the movie, but but that's a separate thing.
Yeah, but for the fire, it would all be fake. So
they have flamethrowers, yeah.
Oh, well, not enough like melt steel, like.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
We were on the whole
not
evacuation thing, so
not congruent to a 1,000-foot lava monster.
Did we get a concession on the evacuation thing that Shield is out of? Well, the organization is.
That's more of I gotta watch the movie again and do a little research.
But what about Talos bringing the kids to Prague, even though this endangers them?
Instead of trying to,
kind of an asshole move. Kind of an asshole move, but if they're willing to risk all of Prague, like 7 kids aren't really that big of a stretch.
Okay. Well, the problem here, that's crazy, but the problem also lies in the fact that he doesn't even try to argue with Peter any further. If anything, he could just threaten to move their school trip there so that Peter complies. He doesn't do that. So he just unnecessarily puts them in trouble.
Talos never struck me as someone who's willing to endanger children.
And no, it's actually the exact opposite if you watch Captain Marvel.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I am not gonna watch that movie.
But also, do we agree with that point now?
That gets a need citation from me. Not because you didn't provide it, because I gotta check it.
Okay.
So,
if we're just gonna leave everything off on I gotta check it again, why don't you rewatch the movie, then maybe come back next week?
All right. What was your last point, though? I do want to touch that. Like you said something afterwards.
Well, I suppose something worth bringing up on the evacuation thing. This also hits Peter's character because he uses Edith to bring his friends, like his school trip. He uses it to bring them to the opera, and the reason for that is so they're kept away from the fight. Now, big problem with this is that if you have Edith, you can literally alert everybody's cell phones that there's a fire elemental arriving. You can show them the evidence that S.H.I.E.L.D. has, that S.H.I.E.L.D. operates off. Literally show them that, and then get them to evacuate. He doesn't do that.
So could you repeat that last bit? Chopped a little bit.
So he uses Edith to bring his friends away from the fight, but he doesn't do this for literally everybody at Prague, when he has the power to do it with Edith. Like, literally alert everybody by their phones to get out.
So instead, like what Edith actually did, what was it? Like they just switched the itinerary on their for their school trip,
and got them the tickets and all that. Yeah.
All right. So instead of doing that, they should ping everybody's phone with "You're about to die, run."
Yes, basically, like one of those
something,
alarms
something
on
of
your
that
phone.
something of that nature. And I won't
That-
even.
that
I
would-
won't. I
That would
won't.
kill more people than Beck did.
How?
Because getting a message like that causes people to panic and rush out. It's the same reason why they.
So,
it's
like,
the same
what the
reason
hell
why
will
your
happen
teacher
with the
tells you
fire
to walk.
elemental when it releases?
Hold on. It's the same reason why your teachers tell you to walk out of a burning building single file, because without that organization, people run all over the place,
Okay.
stampede each other, run into the
don't-
fire when they should be running away from it.
Okay,
I
they
don't-
have hours. They have hours before it happens.
Well, I would say.
It's a massive city.
Okay.
So yeah.
So they,
okay.
so they don't
hold
try.
on.
There's
Hold
a
on,
crowd
hold on.
of people
So
where the
in
fire
Hold on,
elemental
wait. Let me
is.
let me
your
just clarify something. Let me just clarify something. I
Okay.
agree. There could be people that die if people like started panicking and stuff, right?
That's
But-
not a could. That's if you send a ping
It
to
is-
everyone
it
that
is still
says
a-
get out of
it's
the
a
city,
could.
get in your car and drive away. Everyone at once gets in their car, gets on the highway, and gets stuck. What do they
Okay.
do?
At least they're getting away from it to some extent.
No, they aren't. They're stuck. They're still in the city.
Well, you've realized that
What
people aren't
happens next?
limited by their cars. They can walk.
Also, this is a
They can
strange
run.
argument considering we literally do this for tornado warnings or earthquake warnings.
That is true as well.
No, for tornadoes, you stay inside. For
What?
Yeah, for tornadoes and earthquakes, you get under like a doorpost or your closet.
Right. If there's no other
Down.
option.
Okay,
You
You
there's
do
a
that.
bomb.
You only wait. You only do that when it's like actively near you. But if it's a tornado warning that's like, or like a flood warning, like a tsunami or something, you don't
For a
sit
flood
there.
warning, it's different.
Well, it's
And-
there's it's just, you know what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
don't sit there and like get in your house or get in a bathtub or something like that. You would actively try to get away so that you're not even in the area to do that. Like we do this in real life.
Yeah, for certain things, yeah.
So
Right.
for this one, they would do it.
Yeah, but for this one, you're telling the entire city to leave right now. It's not a situation that's going to happen within a week or something like that.
They have hours.
It's literally yeah.
I mean, that's
it's
literally what
hours.
they do in
That-
Arkham
That's
Knight.
bad. I don't care about Arkham Knight. I'm talking about what
Well,
actually happened.
I'm using it as an example of like the concepts. Like you alert people, they start leaving in an organized fashion. He could help with the evacuation. He could help keep it organized with the SHIELD agents. They don't even attempt this at all. There's zero attempt.
because it's not going to help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would.
It would.
Evacuating. So evacuating
telling
people
an
from a
entire-
fight with a giant fire monster, that doesn't help.
Why do you
Telling-
think they
telling the
evacuated?
entire-
Okay, wait.
Telling the
Let me ask.
entire city of Prague, Venice, or London that you're going to die in 4 hours if you don't leave, no matter how you word it, causes a mass panic. It doesn't cause an organized
That's
evacuation.
better than being
You
burned
cannot
alive.
organize.
I don't know
You
what
cannot
you're
organize a mass
Stop.
evacuation. To that point.
You made a point. Let me say something. So you remember Age of Ultron?
Yeah.
Would you
vaguely.
say it's bad for them to try and evacuate the city? Because by your
the
logic,
city-
it is.
This quadrant is
For the city of
unsafe.
Sokovia.
Please back away. We're here to help.
For
You
the
can
city
literally
of
do that with Edith.
Sokovia.
Yes.
For the city of Sokovia. Let's see. If I remember, they didn't have time to evacuate the civilians on their by just warning them. They showed up and evacuated them by hand.
Yeah.
That's different. Basically.
People started leaving though. They got more people away, which made their evacuation job at the end easier. Right?
Was that
Less
before or
people
after
died.
that section lifted off?
It was before the rock started flying.
Right, and when was that?
Before the rock
Look, I haven't,
started
wa- I
flying.
haven't watched this since like a marathon in 2018. You gotta remind me.
Okay. I feel like I'm making
this
it clear.
point,
They tried to evacuate the city.
Yeah, I feel like you need to rewatch it if you're gonna keep saying like, well, I gotta.
I don't think you need to rewatch anything. I feel like it's a simple concept. Like,
Yeah, I guess. See, it's just you're using movies to justify that when like
in the
I'm
same
using
universe.
movies
Yeah,
that
that's-
actually
that's
execute
fine
the
then.
concept well, because that's an example of what to do.
yeah, it's fine. And like I said, with a situation like Sokovia, when Ultron's already there and actively like destroying the city and the world.
I mean, they did it at the beginning fight where Ultron didn't exist. It was just literally fire. It's literally just
in the beginning of Age of Ultron, or the beginning of Spider-Man?
At the beginning of Age of Ultron, they start evacuating the city because of the fact that Strucker has weapons that can reach the city.
Right, and they have with the Iron Legion. That is kind of different. It's kind of like
Why is it different?
Like,
wouldn't that cause a panic by your logic?
They have the manpower, and by that point, the problem's already started. It's not a proactive thing; it's an active thing.
The problem is going to start soon, and we literally have flash flood warnings and shit like that, or hurricane warnings like ahead of time. And like warn people while it's happening as opposed to before. Like that's just inherently less safe.
I guess I'm losing you because from my perspective, at that point they had the Iron Legion of like hundreds of bots to just do the job for them. While
the point is that they made an effort.
While at this point, Shield is like 12 people.
The Iron Legion is like 12 people. They're there to evacuate people.
There was like 3
Iron Legion. They show 3, but the insinuation is that he has like a bunch of them. It's the upgrade from his like suit army in Iron Man 3.
We see like 6 of them fly in.
And you see 6, but you know there are more. Why would they just have 6 robots to block off an entire city?
It really doesn't matter, because the point I'm making is that they could that they try to use them to evacuate the city just to get the word out. If you can literally access people's phones to warn them, like, yeah, why wouldn't you at that point?
Well, I guess I just thought of this, but does SHIELD still have its credibility? Because I thought after Winter Soldier, they were basically like gone. Like they pulled out one helicarrier.
They came back and they work at the Avengers compound.
Yeah.
And again, they literally have evidence of. They say their satellites confirm it.
Right.
So they have proof. And Peter can share it and get them out, but he doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think that would work.
Why?
Even if you think it doesn't work, try. What's the harm in trying? What do you lose by trying?
The harm is what I just said, causing a scramble.
Okay,
the fire
and
elemental
causing
would
a
cause
scramble.
Yes.
I know, like
the fire elemental isn't real.
That doesn't matter. He believes
fire elemental
it's real.
isn't real. It's a fire monster.
That's irrelevant. He believes it's
real.
Hold
on. The fire elemental is
you think
a
Peter
fire
went
monster
into this
the size of one like 3-story building that a wizard is fighting. Is this
okay.
They gave the reason that it will like eventually end the world. But are they at a we gotta call everyone point, or are they at a we have to nip this in the bud?
They are at a we gotta call everyone point, but they just can't come for whatever reason.
Why is everyone busy for whatever reason?
Because
I could not tell you.
There's a lot of things that happen in the world. But Captain Marvel literally says this in Endgame. There's a lot of other planets that are out there, and unfortunately they didn't have you guys. Doctor Strange doesn't get involved in Avengers 2012 or Age of Ultron because they focus on, well, the Sorcerer specifically, they focus on mystical threats. They explain this in Doctor Strange.
Well, even
this isn't a mystical
Thor is
threat.
off-world.
Even the Ancient One was, like, even if we use Endgame, the Ancient One was, like, doing stuff.
And that's only because she happened to be in the area.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like sniping,
protecting the
sniping
sanctum.
people off the roof and shit.
Yeah, she was protecting the sanctum.
Yeah. So, out of the literal hundreds of Avengers at the end of Endgame, the only one that they couldn't get a hold of was Peter.
What does that have to do with anything?
Which tells me that this isn't a we're all about to die situation. This is a we need to clean this up before it becomes a problem.
That is literally what they say.
That's what the problem will become if they don't nip it in the bud, but they're still at the nip it in the bud stage.
Yeah, and when they have to do that, there's literally people on the Ferris wheel. How could they get out of that situation?
By this logic, Thanos wasn't that big of a threat because he didn't have all the Infinity Stones yet. So they're still at the nip it in the bud stage before it gets all the Infinity Stones.
No, that's not the same. That's not the same thing.
Yeah, it actually quite literally is.
The same faction that attacked New York the first time is back. That's the issue.
No.
And Happy Avengers and most Happy Avengers.
So let me explain why one thing. Wait. Stop this, guy. Let me explain why it's the same thing. The fire elemental, once he gets more powerful, can destroy the planet, right?
All right.
Thanos, once he gets more powerful, can destroy half of all life in the entire fucking universe. So both sequences are at a nip it in the bud stage eventually, right?
No, it's not. Thanos
explain how there's a difference.
Thanos can already destroy the planet.
Okay.
He's building up to destroying the universe, but they don't know that. When Ma and Glaive show up, this is just the aliens that attacked us in New York are back. So what does Tony do? He gets the wizard he's with, calls
Do you not remember? You're wrong. Let me just. I want to stop you because you're wrong. Tony knows that he can destroy all. He can do whatever he wants. Like Strange, he's whatever fucking Strange said. He can destroy life hitherto undreamt of or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yes, they do know.
I'm saying that's not the same thing because the elementals can't do crap right now. They're building to the point where they'll become an Avengers level threat. Thanos already is one at the start of the movie. That's kind of what Banner says.
Okay.
And at that point in the story, there were no Avengers to call. He only sent that message to Cap, and then he immediately leaves with the aliens. Didn't know if he was even going to pick up.
What do you not understand about if he gets even a bit of metal here, which is what happens, he could become a world-ending threat.
By the way, the Ferris wheel that people are on is in the area that has metal, and people can be stuck on it because the operator's going to be running away after he sees the fire monster.
I don't know, law of thermodynamics. He's not gonna. Wow. He has to eat enough metal to be big. I guess I don't fucking know.
And you know what is funny? They actually can call other people, but they don't do this. They can call the fire department, unironically, to help with the fire elemental, and
That's another problem in the movie. They don't think to do that, even though Peter uses a fire hydrant against it.
Yeah, like I said, I gotta rewatch it, but from my understanding, Fury kind of knew that. He kind of understood that was full of shit, but they couldn't prove it.
Okay.
All right.
I think we can let it off right there.
All right.
Because everything just ends off with I gotta rewatch it. So. Yeah.
Goodbye.
I don't know who was here first. Let's bring in Stark.
Is Stark back?
Stark's here. So
you're on the line.
Right. Okay, you go. Hang on, but first, before I lay down my disagreements, can I say and ask something for a sec? Just
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. First off, what do you think? What do you think about the possibility of doing disagreement days about fan theories, fan fiction, and headcanons?
We don't care for that.
We have done it once with Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think for the most part I think the only time I'll ever go at that kind of shit is when it is either actively mischaracterizing the writing of something in a bad way or in a good way to defend it. You know what I mean?
Huh. Oh, hey, I figured that you weren't considering like fan theories are mostly subjective because like they're built off
Well,
interpretation.
that's fine. We're not that interested in the fan theories. What is the disagreement, and tell us why?
Oh wait, yeah. Okay, 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 okay. Let's see. No Way Home. No Way Home. Okay.
Ron, Far From Home.
About it. I mean, sorry. I mean, No Way Home. No Way Home. I mean, talk about shit. Stop.
There we go. There we go.
Sorry. Okay. Okay. Nowhere. Oh yes, Far From Home. About Peter's character in that movie. Let's see. You say he's like selfish at first for not like helping the not wanting to help with the elementals at first, right? But, so
Said it's out of character because the world is gonna die and he doesn't want to do anything.
well, maybe it could be interpreted that maybe he doesn't want to participate right now, but maybe he'll do so later if like.
No, you can't interpret that because after, he's just like, I'm just happy I don't gotta go to Prague. So no, he wasn't gonna do anything. He was just gonna keep doing his vacation. Which is also another part of the character assassination.
Well, well, I mean, he is just a kid. He's hard
Okay,
to.
he's not an idiot though.
Can't be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man if there is no neighborhood.
Exactly.
He was smart enough to know that, like 2 weeks before this.
Okay, well, it's. I mean, couldn't it be a case like what? Couldn't it be a case where like since he's seen Mysterio in action, he trusts him a little bit more?
Mysterio said he lost against the fire monster.
Right. Okay. I suppose Peter's character's hard to interpret, and Far From Home. Got it. I almost said No Way Home again. God. Okay. This. Well. That's about like Shield's involvement and everything. Couldn't it be that like hey, the reason things are like going wrong, they're messing up, is that like Talos has Nick Fury's kind of inexperience, like he has limited Earth experience.
So Captain Marvel takes place canonically like 30 years ago, and Talos was like a space general, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was the leader. He was the leader of a species.
Well, this
And
is
also,
different.
I don't think experience justifies the fact that he can't just do a simple check if someone is lying, especially since this should be standard protocol that Nick Fury tells him to. On top of that, like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what.
Though inexperience doesn't mean he endangers children.
I mean, so he wouldn't that. So like he wouldn't put his own race's children.
No, he absolutely wouldn't.
And about the whole not trusting Mysterio thing, maybe possibly like saw him as like similar to Captain Marvel. They saw him as probably as faithful as her.
Yeah, but like I said, Mysterio couldn't beat the fire monster. And Mysterio explicitly says, we could use someone like you on my world. His world that got destroyed because his efforts weren't enough. So he believes that if Spider-Man was there, he could have saved it.
Ah, that's 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 a fair point. Fair point. Guys got me there. We can talk about all this more. So yeah.
Is that it?
Well, anyway, moving on. Moving on. Say you like have like problems with Mysterio as a villain. Like I knew, like for me, I saw him being the main villain.
So like you're curious what like our issues are with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think right off the bat, his motivation is already built on a character assassination of Tony Stark. And here's why.
I can explain that if you like.
No, I got it right here. So the problem with it is that Mysterio says, you know, my illusion tech, it was very revolutionary, limitless applications, and then Tony turned it into a self-therapy machine. So we learn that the barf technology wasn't actually made by Tony Stark. The reason we obviously assumed that he made it in Civil War was because he presented it as if that's his own creation. He's like, look, this is my experiment. Look at all this. So people are gonna think that he made it. So because of that, he ended up stealing credit from Clinton Beck. He didn't credit him for the creation, which is really contradictory to Civil War, because his whole point is to fund people's projects so they can create their own legacies, they can create their own future. And on top of that, Iron Man 2, the whole motivation that Whiplash had against Tony and like his whole family was that he believes that Tony Stark is a thief who took credit, well, his family were thieves and they take credit for people's creations. That was his father's beef with the Stark family. So the fact that he takes his credit for his work like that, that's a problem. And then when Mysterio gets mad at him for that, he fires him because he's unstable. Even though if you take someone's work, rename it, and you don't give credit, it's like, yeah, people are going to be pissed off for that. So he fires him for that. Furthermore, well, actually, we'll just start there. What do you think?
Oh, well, I mean, said he will. I mean, said Tony's. Tony thought Beck was unstable, right? Yeah. So it's just, although, well, can you not trust him enough not to like?
I'm sorry? You're not like coming through.
I said, couldn't he have not trusted him?
Why would he not trust Mysterio? Like, what happened? Because from what we're told, like he took credit for his stuff and renamed it.
Well, like you
said,
said,
and then limited it to self-therapy. He removed the amount of applications this tech could have. Which makes me question, okay, so he wanted it for more applications. He limited it. Tony limited it to self-therapy. So then what was the promise at first for how we could use his creation? What was their agreement? Because Mysterio wouldn't agree to something that can only be used for self-therapy. So something has to have been breached at some point.
Also take into account if the, what's it called? If the tech could actually be applicable in combat use, like we see it's used in Far From Home, then Tony should have absolutely implemented that into combat.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna add real quick. You want to know what's funny about this, Colin? Norman Osborn in Spectacular Spider-Man literally does that to the Vulture, and he uses it for his technology.
Well,
like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, what he did here is comparable to what Norman Osborn would do to his employees, which is really bad for his character.
Well, isn't the... Well, I mean, he could... Isn't like Tony's character about... Characters, isn't one of Tony's character traits is that he wants, like, you know, innovate go beyond the usual type of
Well,
technology.
well, yeah, but he wouldn't steal people's work though. He wouldn't take credit for it.
Especially because he knows the consequences of what can happen from that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
created a villain in Iron Man 2.
It's just
And
Which also makes me
giving-
question, if he does that, why doesn't he have like S.H.I.E.L.D. keeping tabs on him or something? Put him on a watch list.
That's true.
okay. Okay.
If he thought he was so unstable, yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe at the time, at the time maybe at the time, or how about this? Instead of that, maybe considering that like Beck is known to be a liar in this movie, maybe he was lying the whole time about Tony taking his ideas. And I'll be fine.
I can address that easily. What we know for a fact is true is that is his technology. That's indisputable. What we also know is that Tony didn't give credit to him when he was presenting it. When he says binarily augmented retroframing or BARF, and he says it's my experiment. He never credits the guy who actually made it.
Wait, but how's this like the defeat for like the
That
possibility
means he
that
stole credit for someone else's creation.
I don't even know why we're like going down this like rabbit hole. It's like, no, he's telling the truth. He's explaining why he's explaining his motives verbatim and the backstory of the technology. Like, why would that be a lie?
Yeah, why would they show us flashbacks to it if it's just a lie? Like, the purpose of it is to give exposition, to give backstory.
Well, aside from that, what about the rest of Mysterio's character? Nah.
What about the rest of it? Okay, so the big problem with Mysterio is that he's just really stupid. Despite the fact he's supposed to be this master illusionist.
Here, I can write down. I can say what I got written down for like the.
Just run.
So the next favorite problem that affects. So a problem that affects him like throughout the entirety of the movie is him working with S.H.I.E.L.D. or wanting to join the Avengers. I don't know why he wants either of these things. Like, anytime he would ever fight with the Avengers, there's a huge risk in them finding out about his illusion tech. They would also be at risk of showing up to a possible fight with the Elementals. And two, him working with S.H.I.E.L.D. makes an unnecessary risk of being discovered as well. His plan could work just as good, if not better, if he simply explained to S.H.I.E.L.D. in the beginning of the movie that the stakes of the Elementals and showed them whatever proof he gave them throughout the rest of the movie. And he explained the same proof got him on their side to begin with. And explained the same proof that got him on their side to begin with. But instead of working with them directly, he could just say he doesn't trust them enough to work with them in this fight. Or he could simply say he doesn't want more parties involved so they don't get hurt. And he could cause these elemental attacks at random in different places around the world so that it heavily mitigates the risk of himself being discovered as a fraud by one of the Avengers or S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, he announced this ahead of time.
And again, if his initial plan works, what is he going to do from there? He can't kill all the Avengers if they discover the truth, and he can't keep up this front while fighting with them. So why is he even trying? If anything, being a solo hero that takes down world-ending threats, quote-unquote, alone would have him be more regarded by the public than any of the other Avengers. So the entire basis of his plan, or his motivation, is fucking stupid.
Well, couldn't it be possible that he like got a little ahead of himself and didn't think about that sort of thing? Like he is only
no, because he does. Well, the thing about that is, maybe you could say that, but I wouldn't agree. But the thing about that is, the movie literally says he's like checking with Fury to see if Avengers will be coming. So
well,
like
also,
he's very much taking that into account.
Well, also he says Fury is the most dangerous and most paranoid and most dangerous person on the planet. He's very much paranoid of the consequences. Like he flips out on one of his coworkers when he thinks there's a risk that evidence is out there.
Mm-mm. Oh, so also, what another criticism would be of Mysterio's that like you saw his like he's like it was too predictable that he would turn out to be a villain. Is that another one of your
No, that's
criticism?
not a point I have.
Like,
I
well,
mean, I guess the next points would have to do with the plot armor and how that factors into how
Yes.
stupid Mysterio is. So Mysterio
Yeah, the other point.
has at minimum
Well, I would-
500. What? What's up?
Why don't we talk about the
Oh,
'cause
the train.
everything else about Mysterio. Well, no, I mean the train thing is a problem, but like everything else is just like basic plot problems of him being stupid. The other things we brought up are like already things that just don't make him work as a character. So I don't think there's even a point to talk about that right now. I feel like it's already been proven why he's so shit. I feel like because I don't think like unless we have those like unless you have a defense for anything brought up, then I
Yeah,
think
we'll just bring in someone else.
we just move on.
Seems like we don't have defenses, so
well, oh well, hang on, one more thing. Couldn't it, well, can't you like going back to Peter? Couldn't you just doesn't he at least mix up for Peter at least mix up for his like
doesn't matter. He should never do it.
yeah.
Doesn't work. Oh, is that all we have?
Yeah.
All right, then we'll bring in someone else. Thank you for.
All right, drag someone in here. I gotta pee.
All right.
Okay. See you later. I'll disconnect.
Captain Kappa. I heard you had some defenses that you wanted to go over. Captain Kappa, you're on the line. Captain Kappa, you're on the line. You're on the line. What is your motherfucking disagreement? You said put me in, coach. I put you in. What is the disagreement? Ooh, Jesus.
Oh shit, okay, I'm here now.
Yes, you are.
Oh my
Okay.
god, bro.
You are here. What is your disagreement? Tell us why.
Okay, so I'm gonna preface this. I haven't seen No Way Home since I saw it in theaters,
It's
so
far
memory
from
might.
home. It's far from home. It's not No Way Home.
What did I say?
You said No Way Home.
Okay, I've seen that. When's the No Way Home disagreement day?
Wait, so you're not here for Far From Home. All right, that's goodbye.
No,
then.
no, I am. No, I am.
Okay.
No, I am.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so my defense is I don't think it's a 2 out of 10. I think it's a 3 out of 10. Okay, no. I
Is
look
it really
I
worth
look in
it at
hindsight.
that
It's not a
point?
very good movie. It's not a very good movie, but I'll try to defend it the best I can. I find the opening pretty good. And yeah.
Alright.
I think that the idea of him not wanting to be Spider-Man works within the context of the later stuff, like the whole thing about this being his origin trilogy, quote unquote. It seems like it's more so just like backpedaling to explain this
Really,
movie a little
'cause
bit better.
I'm almost certain that in Homecoming, the justification for the no Uncle Ben stuff is, well, we skipped the origin because you guys already know it. But I guess that's just a switch up there.
Yeah, no, it's a retcon. But I find I wanna talk about this. May not exactly be a disagreement, but I remember thinking this in the theater, thinking this is the dumbest shit ever, and I want to bring it up. Mysterio wants to kill Betty Brant, not because she knows Peter's Spider-Man and would therefore know about Mysterio's plot, but because Peter just name dropped her being like, my friend might have mentioned I'm Spider-Man to his
Oh
girlfriend.
yeah, that is I forgot to mention this,
he's
Colin.
not
That is
just
really
killing
dumb
someone
that he
because.
mentioned her.
Yeah, no. He's not just killing someone because he knows that they know he's Spider-Man. It's because he thinks they might know because he name dropped them. That's just straight up murder. And I think that that's very weird.
Wait, Mysterio's.
Mysterio
I'm
Mysterio has no idea that Betty knows. So Peter, claiming that she might know, actively endangered her.
Yes, literally.
To be fair, I don't think, because we already have the problem of him not. I think it would just fall under the same line of like, what's it called? Him
He didn't
thinking
check
that
if it was
like,
a bot.
yeah. I think the real problem is, because he said that thinking that it was actually Nick Fury. I think the actual problem is he doesn't check.
Yeah, it makes it worse.
Yeah.
And this is why I think that Mysterio as a concept works in like a comic book but not in a movie, because you're always going to be on edge then, because then we had people questioning if No Way Home was a Mysterio illusion.
Well, I mean, I feel
Why?
like that makes it work. If it puts you on edge, that can make it work. It's just that this movie doesn't make it work.
Exactly.
I mean, Spectacular Spider-Man makes it work. The '90s series makes it work.
Yeah, like that's what I like about Spectacular when he's up against Mysterio for the second time. He's like, I'm making sure you're not a bot. He's like, no, I'm not. It's like, yeah, that's good shit right there. But in this movie, he doesn't check that on a basic level, even though he just saw what he could do.
Yeah, and even then, I find it a little bit interesting. Like, one thing that annoys me about MCU being called 616 as well is the fact that they already made the reference to 616 in this movie. So Mysterio just somehow knew that, just predicted that. I don't think so.
I don't know, it's just a lucky guess.
Yeah.
It's just an Easter egg, but it has horrible implications afterwards.
I don't think it does.
I don't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't either.
We'll move to the next disagreement. But
right.
Thank you for coming on.
One last thing though. You're a pedophile. Prove me wrong.
Okay. This guy wanted to come in about something. Hello.
Oh, hey, what's up?
What's up?
Hey.
What is your disagreement, and tell me why?
Well, all I want to say is, I think your rating for Spider-Man Far From Home is a little too low in my taste. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not the best fucking Marvel movie ever, but it's never gonna be like the best movie ever. But honestly, there's still some things I don't really like about it. But honestly,
were you listening to the criticisms we were talking about, like while you were waiting?
Yeah, a few of them, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I was watching the stream, but yeah. So some that I can feel like people might not get a little bit more is like how would you have like No Way Home without the events of Far From Home? Like, I'm not sure if people like ignore that factor or something, but people hate on it regardless.
I don't know why that matters. Well, I guess why does that matter?
Like, I'm not sure. I said slight argument, didn't I? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm just like confused. Like what? What is the point there? I'm just like.
Yeah, I don't really know, man. I don't really know, man. I can't think well. I might be missing a chromosome or something.
It's all good, man.
I have no clue. But shit.
I was just wondering why you said that, because I was just confused.
Well, still, like, it's far from the best fucking movie, but like, it's not that bad. Like
I think it is that bad.
I mean, like, the whole making it like the 616 universe, that kind of sucks. Yeah, because I heard that from before.
I mean, I don't really care about that. I think there's way bigger.
It doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense to replace it with like from the comics universe sort of thing, but still, like, kind of guessing on the multiverse involvement was still like an interesting thing before the bigger portion of the multiverse was introduced in the MCU yet. But
Man, I just don't really care about them calling it 616. It's not connected to the comic, so it doesn't really matter.
But you can kick me off whenever you want.
Is that
I don't really
everything?
have much else to say. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm out. I'm out dry. Sorry, fellas.
All right, goodbye.
Y'all have a good day.
You too.
I'll see you later.
See you later.
Goodbye. I think this guy was here for a while. I don't know.
Hello?
Logan. La Republic, you are on the line.
You're on the line. What is your motherfucking disagreement?
Well, alright. We'll move on to the next one.
Goodbye. I think
Get up seemed to be.
go.
Oh.
Oh.
God. We both did it. Alright, alright. There we go. Hello.
Mr. Gogeta.
You're on the line. What is your motherfucking disagreement?
What is your disagreement, Gogeta? Oh my
Well,
god, bro.
Guys, be ready. Be ready.
Lucky name.
Hello?
Oh, hello.
Hello, you're a little quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is this the proper disagreement, or is this like the wait?
You're like really, it's like really hard to hear you.
Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Like, go
It's working.
closer to your mic or up your volume.
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you, but you're too quiet.
Okay, I'll just talk. Is this good? This volume?
Yeah, that's
A
better.
little bit more.
Okay. So, I have two disagreements. Well, first. Oh, okay. So hold on. Okay. First question: are you only taking the far from home arguments, or are you taking other arguments?
I don't know. It
Take any.
depends.
We're most geared to Far From Home because we just watched it.
Okay, yeah, so you mentioned, and this is a little micro argument, SK, and because you mentioned something regarding a piece of evidence for the assassination of Tony Stark. You said specifically that it was you're using the evidence that Mysterio claimed that Tony Stark stole his, or basically you're using Mysterio's retelling of events as evidence, yes?
Yes, because it's exposition and parts of what he says are true.
Parts of what he says are true. However, there is some slight evidence towards bias because, I saw this in like some nerd did you know superhero thing, in that the retelling of Mysterio had laughter in the background during the previous scene.
Okay, I know that, but it still doesn't change the fact that when Tony in Civil War presented the barf technology, he acted like it was his creation, and he gave no credit to Mysterio.
Okay. But how does that point to character discrimination?
For two reasons. One, the entire point of him making the fund for the MIT people to begin with was that so that they could make their own creations, shape their own future, reshape the future we live in. That's one part of it. The other part of it is do you remember Whiplash from Iron Man 2?
Yes.
So the reason he became a villain was because Tony did the exact same thing to his father. So, and then fired him after he stole that invention. So Tony should not do what he does again, because that could obviously cause something.
Okay, I can see that. But again, I question the bias of the narrator since it's unreliable. I don't know how solid evidence that is to base, from that. Perhaps maybe it was a contracting thing. Perhaps Tony was like,
It doesn't really matter if there's like legal stuff to it. The fact of the matter is that he didn't give the credit to Quentin Beck. There's no point in the scene in Civil War where he acts like it isn't his creation. When we watched the scene, we all thought that he obviously created it. I mean, that was the intention of the Russos. We're supposed to think he made it. But he didn't.
Russo say this directly in an interview, or was this?
I believe so. Yes, I actually think they said that their creative process behind creating the scene of the flashback, they wanted it to be like, so yeah, oh, Tony would be smart enough to create something to simulate it, so we want, I think it's in the director's commentary if you can find access to it, but they say something along the lines of that. So it was originally meant to be that Tony created it, and that's how it comes across when you watch the film, but this movie changes it so it's actually Quentin's technology, so he used someone else's technology and just let him be forgotten.
Okay, yeah. That sounds, I don't know what you define as character assassination, but yeah, that seems...
I mean, that's just very much out of character.
I think what I would define as character assassination is something that's, like, so completely out of character that it just kind of destroys what they're going for, whether it be, like, the character's morals or, like, just the way they go about things, their personality, just all of that encapsulated pretty much. Like if someone like an example I would say isn't I wouldn't call it character assassination, I would just simply say out of character, is if like Tony Stark couldn't solve a basic math equation. Like, he's just being stupid, but even though he's supposed to be smart, I wouldn't say that's character assassination. I would just say it's out of character that he can't do this.
Okay, but it's a level of extremity to saying it's character assassinated rather than not.
It's basically the degree to how badly a character is out of character.
Alright. And so, I guess, given that definition, so I reckon that Tony's character would be not necessarily taking credit for things, but trying to better the work of his father. Would that be what the grounds are for this particular character?
I'm sorry, it's like really hard to hear you.
Yeah, okay. So just so I'm tracking, so in terms of the exact like character of Tony Stark that was assassinated, it was in response to how his father was taking control of things and taking credit for things.
No, it was him. It wasn't his father. He took credit of Ivan Vanko's father's idea, which made Whiplash become a villain. And
yeah, okay, I know that, but I'm just asking, what is the particular character of Tony that was assassinated? Like, what exact piece of Tony's character was?
Well, I think a huge part of his character in these movies is that he grows more humility, and he learns not to, like, put himself above others, and he understands this through the villains he creates as well. And it seems like he just didn't learn anything. I mean, we even see this with Iron Man 3 with Killian, where he's like, we create our own demons, and this is something that almost got Pepper killed. So I think he would take it a lot more seriously moving forward, especially since his character has become a lot more humble across these movies. What he does to Quentin Beck here comes across as very, not just reckless, but also, what's the word? Insulting, greedy, it's very
unsafe.
Neglectful. Yeah.
Okay, I question if there's that kind of what Tony Stark does. Tony Stark just took credit, but I don't know if that's necessarily enough to say that he maliciously, as if there was some sort of like, I don't know what we don't know what he got from that, or at least I don't know personally. Like, there's evidence for.
It's not even about what he got from it. It's about how he framed. It's about him taking someone else's idea, firing them because they're emotionally unstable, and then presenting it as his idea, and then disrespecting the invention.
Yeah, but is that necessarily, because what he did doesn't really constitute malicious from what I'm hearing.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's malicious or not. The fact of the matter is he knowingly took someone's work and presented it as his own.
and shit on it.
Yeah.
Confirm that he knew that it was someone else's work, and the fact
He knew he
credit
hired
was-
Quentin Beck for this project. He knew what it was.
yeah,
unless
it was
unless we're saying
intentional.
that Tony Stark just took someone's project, didn't know who it belonged to, and presented it as his own, that's still just as bad.
I mean, that's not even true, because Quentin Beck's, like, in the back
Yeah.
because it's his project.
That's what I'm declaring, but I just don't know if there was any. I'm having trouble saying definitively that when Tony Stark took credit, there was 100% ill intent, or if it could be chopped.
I mean,
maybe
it doesn't matter if you want to call it ill intent or not. We're talking about the actions he knowingly took.
Well, we don't know if he knowingly. We know that
He knowingly took someone else's work and presented it as his own.
I guess I would just ask, why would he do the exact same thing that he learned is a terrible thing to do? It can have horrible consequences in 2 different movies.
That's the thing, though. I don't know if he knowingly would have done it.
But he did.
He did.
Well, he did it. He did it different.
How didn't he though? Because he knew this was someone else's work. He didn't give credit to their work.
He knowingly fired him over this and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
I'm so lost on how he didn't knowingly do this.
Well, here's the thing. Presumably, and this is maybe a little bit down the beat path, but Tony Stark has a big company. He does a lot of projects. Now, perhaps he worked a little bit on the project, or even would he classify conscripting the project? Maybe he brought him on, and as a result, that was an experiment in and of itself. And maybe that could stretch down to the overall desire to present it as his own. What I'm getting at, though, is that we don't know if he took it. That's undeniable. But whether or not he knowingly took it is.
How could you not know?
Like perhaps. Well, you could know. Well, there are several instances where you could take something without knowing that you're stealing.
Okay, so he takes. Hang on. He takes the illusion tech. He knows it's not his. He knows he didn't make it. So, what then? Did he ask who made it? So he knows who to credit?
Really
He
quick.
does. Well, I don't even know why we're asking these hypotheticals. We know he knows who made it. We know he fired him after presenting the tech. It's just blatant in the movie. What happens? That they're explaining the exposition. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is what happens.
Well, irrelevant of that, though, I'm saying that the very description does show some bias, again, according to the
No,
research
it
that-
doesn't matter. There's facts that we know for sure. We know he worked at Stark Industries. That's indisputable.
Yeah. We know he worked in Stark Industries.
We know his work
We know
was presented by Stark. That's indisputable. We know he didn't credit him for the work. That's indisputable. That's like if I took someone's fan animation, put it on my account, and just told people, "Oh, look at this," and people are gonna think I made it.
Yeah, and then you deleted the other guy's platform.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you were to do that, for example, if you took that fan animation and you said, "Hey, look at this animation," and you forgot to give credit.
How would he
Does that mean
forget
that
to
you-
give credit?
Well, because that's the thing. We don't. There's a million different ways, but that's not really.
Name one.
What? That you can accidentally give.
How would he knowingly take work that isn't his and then forget to credit someone?
And then frame it as his own.
Well, because he works under Stark Industries.
Doesn't matter. That's still not. Yeah, a lot of people work under him, but that doesn't mean it's.
When you
always-
post when you post and edit, you don't inherently frame it as your own.
Wait, when you post that, you don't frame it as your own.
Yeah, like in the speech, he says, $100 million or some $600 million for my little therapeutic experiment here.
Yeah, everyone who sees that will think he made it unless he gives credit, which he didn't.
Hello. And it sounds like It was more of the. Okay, well, hold on. Let me back it up real quick. Because when it comes down to a company, it is commonplace to say that the company has made this. You don't specifically cite who made, let's say, Collins.
That doesn't. Hold up. That
Yes,
doesn't
they
matter.
do. No, yes, they. No. Yes, they do. When we that's you're talking about in reference. You're talking about in reference to the general public. But when a company comes out, they do very well give credit to who made it. Like in movies, we say, "Oh, this." Like for example, when we're talking about movies, we say, "Oh, this was John Watts' work."
Directed it.
Yeah,
Tom
so it
Holland
was his
acted in it.
movie.
This person was on the VFX team.
Yeah.
They directed it, but we don't know what specific. I guess when it comes to movies,
Your
that's
wait, your mic's lagging out.
Hold on.
While you
So-
fix that, someone said also one of the reasons you're having this discussion about, oh wait, no, not that one. This says, this goober doesn't know shit. They talking goobly goo nonsense. Actually believing that Mysterio invented barf. Mysterio could have been lying, and the goobers believe in him. So you're saying that he didn't invent barf? Is that what you're saying? So you're saying, hold up, you're saying...
No, he's talking to, wait, Lucky, he's talking to someone in the chat.
Yeah, I'm talking to... So, Deslin, you're saying that Tony had illusion tech that he handed over to some random employee so he can recreate it and act like he created it to other people. Wow, that's like even worse. If Tony created it and he just handed that over to some guy who worked for him, wow, that's bad. Because of how dangerous illusion tech can be. And it's like, that's not even true.
And then fired him because he was emotionally unstable.
Wait, why would he get fired at that point? Why would he get fired? What would he be mad about? Oh, you named it barf. Like, what? That's not his work. How would he feel disrespected?
Well, didn't he feel disrespected specifically because he named it barf? That not?
Well, it's not just
because it was his
barf.
work.
He also says, you know, my technology could have changed the world. It had limitless applications, but then Tony turned it into a self-therapy machine. So that means that Quentin went into the project believing that it would have all these crazy applications, but by the end point it's like, no, actually, after I funded it, after I made you invest all this time and money into it, actually we're just using it for self-therapy. What you were expecting going into this, that's not happening. I'm sorry. That's a false promise right there.
But the meat of it is, the Russos looked at this and said that every major point is true. That like, there was what Tony took. We know the actions of Tony Stark were all 100%.
No. Far From Home makes it so he took credit for what someone else created. Deslin says, bro,
And then fired him.
All the exposition is from Quentin Beck's POV. Okay, so at this rate, if you want to play like this, did Quentin Beck just never work for Stark Industries? Did he never meet Tony Stark? Like, what do we do at this point?
He was an industry plant.
Well, my point though isn't that there isn't any truth in what he says. My point is he's an unreliable narrator.
I know, but it doesn't matter because we still know the facts as to why he's in that position and what got him out of the job. We still know that his work was used by Stark. We still know that Stark funded it. He said that. We still know that Tony presented it as if it's his own thing. He never credited Beck. So if we know this, then we know that what Beck is saying has truth to it, and what this implies is that Tony stole his work and gave no credit whatsoever.
That is true. If you
so then he okay. So if we agree that's true, it ends there.
My point though is that we don't know if it was intentional for him to steal it.
Okay, so this brings us back. How could you accidentally take work that you know isn't yours and then not credit it? How would I accidentally download someone's video, re-upload it, and give no credit? How would I accidentally...
He could have a public conversation. He could have every intention to be like, well, I'm going to credit this guy at the end, but maybe...
Why didn't he do it then? Why didn't he do it if he was going to credit him?
Because I guess he might have forgotten.
He left the stage. How do you forget that?
You can easily forget it. Have you ever published...
So Tony Stark... So Tony Stark took someone's work and forgot to credit the guy? That's just narcissistic at this point. That just means he's thinking about himself and not other people, which is not within his character at all. If he just forgot to credit someone. Why wouldn't this be in the teleprompter? He has a teleprompter so he doesn't forget anything. Why wouldn't he put that in there? He wrote this ahead of time and had no plans to credit him.
Listen, what I'm saying is there is a non-zero chance that it could have been a mistake that he didn't credit him. We don't know Tony's side of the story in this.
Wait. Can I just say, can we just bring up something really simple here?
Yeah, what up?
You remember the Stark Expo? If it was really his thing, Tony wouldn't even be presenting it.
That's true. Justin Hammer.
So the Stark X. Hold on. So this thing with Quentin Beck, that happened at the Expo, yeah?
No, it didn't. It happened at MIT?
No. I'm giving an example. Yeah, I'm giving an example of what Tony does when he, like, you know, allows people to showcase their tech. He comes on the stage, doesn't say anything about Quentin. He says, "This is my experiment." Doesn't say, "Hey, we're gonna bring on the creator of this to fucking talk about it." That's not on the teleprompter at all.
Why wouldn't this be in the plans?
In the Stark Expo, and in the Stark Expo, the creator comes out and talks about it either way, even if Tony's not even there.
Yeah, why didn't he give Quentin the chance to talk about his own work and how he shaped his own legacy through it?
Well, my question to you is this: the whole thing is, do you believe that Tony Stark can make a mistake?
Yes, but he can't make a mistake this catastrophically stupid based on the character reasons we gave earlier. Would Tony Stark forget that when he goes in an Iron Man suit, he can fly? No, why would he forget that?
But that's not what I'm alluding to. The point is, we only have Quentin Beck's biased side of the story.
It doesn't matter. We have enough facts to conclude that his work was stolen.
Wait. Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I'm having a big problem with this whole bias thing because there's nothing else in the movie that explains any of these little details like you're saying right now. There's nothing that explores that. The way it's presented is if this is the case, this is what happened.
No, but I'm saying there's evidence for bias because when he was retelling it, he put in there was a laugh track, which was not.
The laugh track only.
So the laugh
track only shows how he felt about it.
Yeah, and the laugh track doesn't change what Tony did. He still put the work up, didn't credit him, had no plans to do that in his teleprompter, and just said, "Yeah, this is my experiment."
The only thing that is changed is the laugh track.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
But I think we're speaking the same. I think we're getting down the same track. So you're saying that these actions did happen.
Yes.
So, but you're arguing that because these actions happened, whether they were all tragic mistakes or not, that in and of itself, that these actions occurred are character assassination.
Yes.
Yes, because we know they happened. We saw it.
I don't know how much I agree with that, just because it feels like in order to have a character assassination occur, there needs to be proof of intent. And I don't know if there's enough proof for me of intent in this.
Okay, so Tony Stark, he takes a gun, he sees a poisonous spider on somebody, on their face. He shoots them in the face. Well, his intent was to get the spider off, so it's fine.
No, I'm not saying that's fine, but I'm saying that in order for a character assassination to occur,
if he shot someone in the mouth to get a spider off, is that character assassination?
If he shot somebody, well, what's his character? Is he prone to shoot?
His character in the MCU, would he shoot somebody in the mouth because there's a spider on them?
I would say, from what I know, probably not.
Okay, but would it be character assassination if he did that?
Would it be character assassination if he did that?
Yes, it would, if he shot someone in the mouth to get a spider off them.
I mean, it's such an abstract concept, I don't really know.
Well, I'm pointing out that saying, well, he had good intent doesn't really change a character assassination. He wouldn't think under his intention, he wouldn't think that's the right thing to do. I mean, I'll go even further with this. Spider-Man could think.
I think
Spider-Man could have the intent to save more people if he were to murder his villains. That doesn't make it in character for him to murder his villains.
Yeah, based on what's previously established. But the thing is, what you've outlined in this evidence in Quentin Beck's story, you've outlined that these events happened. Whether or not he intentionally did them is, I think the intention is.
So again, how do you accidentally take someone's work? How do you just forget that when he had a script?
Let's just lay it out as it is. How do you accidentally take someone's work, frame it as your own, and then fire them after you do that? How is that accidental?
Well, based on the information that we have, we don't know what his thought process was when he did it. This leaves the door open to the potential of Tony Stark being like, oh, fuck, I forgot to, oh, shit, all right, I'll go talk to him. And then he flips out on him and tries to assault him. It's like, whoa, you need to go. It was honest with him. I'm saying there is a world where that is possible in the evidence you give. If there is a possibility for that, I question how effective that evidence is to prove your point.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
I think for something that big, like in your hypothetical, oh, he said, oh, honest mistake, didn't mean to do that, should have credited you, my bad, right? In that situation, if that was actually what it is, that would need to be explored in the movie. Because that's not how the movie presents it at all.
I mean, if we're going back to how the movie presents it, again, there's evidence of bias in that as well. As well as we know that Mysterio lies frequently, so...
The only evidence of bias, quote-unquote, that we showed is the laugh track. That's not even bias. That's just him feeling embarrassed at what Tony verbatim did. There's no...
No, it shows that there was something that was not present during the actual retelling based on Civil War. We know that laugh track in Civil War was not there. So therefore, in his retelling of it, though, that is there.
The only thing that changed is that laugh track, and that was just how he emotionally felt about it. That doesn't mean that doesn't change what Tony did or not.
I know. That's, again...
But that's what you're arguing.
That's where it ends. That's where it ends. You know that it doesn't change what he did, so the argument ends there.
It doesn't end there. Character assassination requires intent.
So again, I'll go back to my analogy. If Tony shoots someone in the mouth because there's a spider on them, his intention was to get the spider off. Does that make it not character assassination?
It depends. Is his main thing is his character killing spiders?
It doesn't matter.
His character is caring for people's lives and not murdering them with his weapons.
Then yeah, if he takes an action that will lead to someone dying, then I would say that is, to a certain degree, not... I mean, based off of the very narrow sample that you've given, I'd say that would be character assassination. But again,
okay, so then if you base this off what would happen through the action, what would happen through Tony's actions in this movie is that he would create someone who possibly becomes a supervillain. Because again, we mentioned what happened with Ivan Vanko.
Also, can we just wait? Let's just make this also a big thing here. You're talking about your whole hypothetical relied on, oh, Tony came up to him after the whole thing, and was like, oh yeah, my bad, should have did it to you right there or whatever, right? But what Tony does after that speech or whatever, Quentin Beck doesn't come out, that doesn't happen, and Tony leaves the building. He walks out, and then Civil War happens. That's what happens. Your hypothetical doesn't work.
Well, I'm not saying that the hypothetical needs to work. I'm saying that there is a non-zero possibility that could have happened. If there is possibility...
There's a 0% chance that happened, because we see he leaves, and the first thing that's talked to him is, sorry, we weren't able to fix the teleprompter. Some guy from... I can't remember, but he was talking to him about stuff. And then they moved on from there. And then he went down, talked to the woman about Sokovia, and then he moved on from there. He was not intending to apologize to Quentin or anything. He didn't talk to him.
Okay, we're hyperfixating on the hypothetical. I'm also, if I want to go back, I think that if Tony Stark with going back to the spider on the face thing, I think it would be in character if he was doing it under the assumption that made sense with what he was established to be previously.
But it doesn't. We're talking about the character we have.
The action of shooting somebody, if he thought that it wouldn't kill him, maybe even hurt him.
So he didn't think shooting someone in the face would kill them.
Yeah, if he did not think that.
Okay.
You know, in his
well, I mean, that's
logic,
enough for me. I'll tap out.
My character's well, okay. But what I'm saying is not that there is a hypothetical definitively. I'm saying we don't know the intention. We don't know the intention of Tony Stark. I am unconvinced that is evidence of character assassination. That's all I'm on.
All right. All right. Well, thank you for coming on. We'll move to the next disagreement.
Alrighty.
I'll move.
All right.
JT in here. JT, you're on the line. What's the disagreement and tell us why?
Yo, can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, so I had a disagreement with something SK said in another disagreement day. About Spider-Man 2.
Which one?
It was when you said it was when you said why didn't Venom just tell Peter to do the heal the world thing?
Oh, we're on this.
Do you know that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So my mindset on it is why would Venom be able to tell Peter that?
The symbiote, how can it communicate information to the host when it does that repeatedly?
No, it can communicate. So let me actually explain why I think he wouldn't have that idea in mind. And it's because you know how like the symbiote is portrayed as something that amplifies emotions and current thoughts. If Peter isn't thinking like, oh, I gotta heal the world right now, like why would Venom tell him that? Because like for example when Venom first talks to Peter, it's him telling him to kill Kraven. And we know that he only told him.
What's the goal of the Emily May Foundation?
To heal the world.
And where does Peter want to work?
At the Emily May Foundation.
Well, there we go. That's the answer.
Well, no, but in the scene where Venom first talks to him, he's not thinking, "Oh, I got to heal the world right now." He's thinking, "Oh, I want to kill Kraven. I want to get this over with." You know. So like, why would Venom randomly
I'm
be
talking
like?
about. So he says, "I just wanted to save everyone." If he's thinking about saving everyone, then healing the world would come to mind, because that's the whole reason he wants to be in the Emily May Foundation. To save people like May. He brings up May in that fight.
Yeah, but at the moment he believes that the symbiote is the thing that makes him a better Spider-Man, and that's his solution.
All right, let me say this. Let me say this real quick. So Peter, when Peter's going to kill Kraven, like the symbiote's telling him to kill Kraven, and when Peter says, "All I wanted was to save everyone. Now the city thinks that I'm the problem." Venom's like, "You think I'm the problem, but I'm not anymore." Venom says, "I'm the solution." That could be an indicator that he's thinking about the heal the world thing. Or he's talking about the heal the world thing and putting that in Peter's head. The problem I think I have with your point, SK, is that Peter's actively fighting against what's happening. So he would be actively fighting against covering the whole world in symbiotes, because if he doesn't even want himself in that symbiote, I don't think he would want other people in it if he's breaking free of the thoughts that Venom would be putting in his head.
I'll actually think on that, because I think that's a decent point. Maybe we'll talk to Comic Legend about that.
Are you satisfied with that, JT?
SK, do you still think that that Venom should have just been like, oh, let's heal the world type thing, like to Peter.
Well, like I said, I'll rethink it. I'll look back at the scene at some point. Or we'll talk to Comic Legend about it and see what he thinks.
That's gonna be pain and misery.
All right.
You can do that on your own, Pimpin'. I'm not doing that.
All right. Well, if you all right, all right. Thanks. I'll see you guys later.
All right. Thank you for coming on, JT.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right. This guy's been waiting. Mr. Wolverine, are you here? La Republic, you are on the line. What is your motherfucking disagreement?
Oh, man. Well.
Alright, hold on. Maybe he'll answer this one.
You're on the line. What is your motherfucking disagreement?
Okay, I'll have to step aside for a bit. I'll still be listening, but I'll be on mute for a little bit. But I'll be listening.
Okay. Alright. Phoenix? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. Are you here for the disagreement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so this is gonna sound like a really this is what I feel like a plot hole, and you'll probably won't see it. But why doesn't Peter put the Karen AI into his upgraded suit? If he does that, he could instantly, and hypothetically, if you've seen Ultimate Spider-Man, the cartoon, you know that episode where he has the Iron Spider suit?
I've only watched like 10 episodes of the first season of that show, and I hated it, so I stopped watching it.
Okay, but there's a scene in the show where he has the Iron Spider suit and he tells it to pull up the Iron Man schematics to get Tony out of the suit. Mm-hmm. Why doesn't he instantly use the Karen AI or the AI from Homecoming, put it into his suit, and pull up the Eat of the Throne schematics? If he does that, he could destroy all the Eat of the Thrones, seeing as that the suit's made out of Stark tech. At least I
have no clue. I don't know. I can't give you an answer to that. I think the only thing is maybe it's protected by a different protocol. I guess, but I don't know. It's
okay. So this other thing, it's about Stellar Blade.
Oh, okay.
This is gonna sound like, I don't know. I feel like Adam should have been the one controlling all of the Naytibas and doing it secretly behind Eve's back.
Why is that?
Because I just, there's just something about the idea about him being able to constantly, like, say like if he was doing it behind his back, do you think the build-up would have been better?
The build-up, not necessarily, because he wants to bond with Eve. Because he's trying to rekindle for his own mistakes. Like he acknowledges his mistakes, and then he tries to join Eve to or try to conjoin with her to become the ultimate thing to like wipe out the rest of the Naytibas, because they're like destroying the planet to an extent. Plus Mother Sphere, they're trying to get rid of that as well. So if they combine and become the ultimate thing, then they'll be able to do that. I think the only reason he's like, I don't know if he does have control of the other Naytibas, for sure. I don't remember if the story says that, but I think it works that he's like, at the end, he's trying. It's revealed that like he was the one that caused all this to begin with, and he's trying to rekindle for his mistakes despite all the, I guess, what's the word? Fishy things he may have done to get there.
Okay. And this last one is about No Way Home. Well, this last one's just not about No Way Home, my bad. Far From Home. There's probably 2 or 3 plot holes there, but the main one was, and this is probably one that I disagree with SK on. If it was, I forgot what he said. It was something about Mysterio not existing. Why is it that we don't see him in Iron Man 1?
Mysterio?
Yeah, why don't we see him in Iron Man 1? That would have been more of a build up to him not liking Peter. Or not liking Peter at all in this movie.
I don't know. I suppose he wasn't working there at that point.
But the thing
I mean,
is, though,
it
like,
could have been better, I guess. I don't know. I'm just kind of going off what the movie gives me.
okay, because like, it's clear that he was in Civil War, but we never saw him. So like,
Yeah.
but I really think that I really think that those are my only two disagreements, though.
I mean, I don't really have a disagreement, I guess. It's just kind of like, I think the movie sucks.
Okay.
It's yeah.
All
All right.
right.
Thank you for coming on.
Appreciate it.
Goodbye. Who is? I think John 2008 has been here for. John 2008.
Hello, it's me, Jonathan Sampson here.
And well, I don't know if SK is here right now, so you might have to hold your beef.
My disagreement is that Colin,
Uh-huh.
you look like Fred from Big Hero 6. Take the beanie off. Take the beanie off, bro.
All right, John. Haig is awesome. Hello.
Hello?
Haig, what's your disagreement and tell me why?
Yeah, I don't know if you remember me.
No.
Yeah, it was like a few weeks back. Yeah, I was the Arkham Origins has no soul guy, you know?
Okay, never mind. I do remember you.
Yeah, I won't take up too much of your time. I'm not the type of guy to like double down, you know? Yeah, so
Gotcha.
yeah, I'm just here to say, first off, congrats on your Deadpool and Wolverine video on like High Top, because it actually got more views than the original video.
That actually happens a lot with my response videos, but yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Also, second, I'm wondering if you're planning to do like a video on like the mysterious Mr. Enter, because he just made a video on Cape Crusader.
I don't know. I
feel like you made some decent points in that video. Like, I feel like the only thing that I disagreed with is when he mentioned, "Oh, the Joker should have been in it," and apart from like the ending stinger, because I'm one of those chats that believe that the Joker is overused and he's overdone, and like tons of shit actors have played him recently, like Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I
And,
don't
like,
know. I'll try to look into it. There was one from The Amazing Lucas that I was gonna watch and maybe respond to, but I'm kind of like focused on other things right now.
Yeah, I'm wondering if like the name Mr. Enter like sounds familiar to you, if like you've heard of him.
Mr. Enter, no, I've never heard of him.
He was the guy who he was like the guy who wanted 9/11 in the Disney movie Turning Red.
Oh, never mind. I have heard of that guy. Never mind.
Like, don't hold that against him. He regrets it. He generally does regret it. Like, don't hold that against him. Like,
that shit was funny.
Just please don't hold that against him. He generally does regret it.
Oh man, that's funny. All right, well, is that everything?
Oh yeah, one last thing. Yeah, is SK listening?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, just in case he's not, like, send this message to him. Playing the same clip of Green Goblin wagging his finger over and over and over and over and over again does not make him intelligent nor funny. The pretentious fucking idiot. Goodbye.
I don't even know. SK, you get that? You sound upset. Are you upset? Oh man. All right. Maybe Dresden. This guy's been waiting. Oh. All right. Bigger man. Bigger Man, you are on the line. What is your disagreement? All right. Dresden. Hello? Hello? All right. Hello? Yeah, why are you guys doing? Oh, he's here.
Hello.
All right. You got some background noise.
I'm so sorry. I'm new here, and I don't know what to do.
It's all good. What is disagreement and tell me why?
I'm sorry, what?
What is your disagreement and tell me why?
Oh, about No Way Home or Deadpool?
Well, it's Far From Home and Deadpool. It's, yeah, like, what's
Yeah,
the
Far From
disagreement?
Home. Sorry. Which one first? Far From Home or Deadpool? Should I?
Either one you want to go with?
Okay. Forgive me, maybe I'm wrong, but I think Far From Home is is mid. Especially the villain is lacking of motivation. You know what I'm saying? Compared it to Cassandra Nova, I think Cassandra Nova toppled Mysterio from charisma and backstory, because Cassandra Nova doesn't need some kind of motivation because she's evil from the start, while Mysterio have some decent backgrounds or.
Well, are you saying that
or-
Cassandra is better than Mysterio?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I agree. I think
Because,
Far From Home. I think Far From Home is shit.
Not shit, but I think it's mid, because you cannot just tell it's full of shit,
I think
because it has some good moments, especially in final.
I mean, it's got a couple good moments. There's some jokes I like. There's some action sequences that look cool, and even if they have problems logically, but I still think it's like I still think it's like a 2 out of 10, because Shield gets character assassinated multiple times. Tony's character assassinated multiple times. Peter's character assassinated multiple times. Mysterio doesn't work as a villain at all. The whole plot doesn't function if Talos isn't a moron. Just there's nothing that works about the characters or the plot of the movie.
Well, if if Far From Home is at least decent at some point. I mean, we get confused because this continuation is retconning this scrolls for some kind of secret wars or some shit. But I think it's good at some point, especially the illusion scenes. It has some potentials, and a love story between Tom Holland and MJ.
I think MJ is a nothing burger of a character in the movie. There's like nothing interesting about her.
Well, I disagree, because I think that she needs time to progress, because from Homecoming she's nobody. Then from Far From Home she becomes his love interest for no damn reason. You know what I'm saying? But even Mary Jane in Toby verse is not even perfect. She's a whore. You know what I'm saying? It's not that she has no depth. She cheats on Peter at some point.
I agree. MJ is bad in Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
But in Spider-Man 1, the thing that's kind of interesting about MJ in that movie is she's got like an abusive family and stuff, and she she kind of puts up a front around everybody, acting like everything's all good and she's all fine. when she's just very much not. And then by the end, she kind of like that's kind of one of the reasons why she won't open up to Peter, or like kind of want to like get into a relationship with him or tell her true feelings because of like her personal image, I guess, in a sense. And like by the end, she kind of just admits a lot of stuff to Peter about her insecurities and the fact that she loves him. So I disagree about Spider-Man 1. And Spider-Man 2, yeah, I agree. It's fair criticism. Jay sucks in that movie. Spider-Man 3.
Yeah,
But
that's the point.
I don't think that excuses Far From Home for MJ being a nothing burger of a character. There's just nothing there.
Well, yeah, fair point. But you know, there's kind of like a chemistry there. I mean, MJ is take caring of Peter, and there's no such thing. She doesn't cheat. You know, saying like how do I say this? She MJ and Tom Holland, just like in real life, they function well as a couple. But in Tobey's Spider-Man, they don't. They just force. And especially in Spider-Man 3, yeah, she just married Green Goblin's son. Like what?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm like lost. I mean, she
we're on-
cheated on Peter in Spider-Man
we're on
3,
Far
but
From Home.
like,
I don't
yeah,
know.
I don't really.
I'm sorry. I lost the plot.
I guess I would just ask, like, what is interesting about MJ in Far From Home?
She's cute.
Okay. All right.
Well,
is that everything?
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Sorry. This is the first time.
Sorry for.
All right. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for coming on.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Indeed, rude. I assume that Wolf Fishy is not productive.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, hi, it's me again.
Hello. What's the disagreement to tell us?
Who is this again?
It's Iru. It's the guy you were talking about before with what was it? Oh yeah, it was the boys.
Okay. All right. What is your disagreement? Tell me why.
I just think I think my disagreement that you're putting No Way Home. Is it? No, it's Far From Home. Sorry, Far From Home as a 2 out of 10. I can agree there are some issues with the movie, but I think 2 out of 10 is a kind of big stretch.
Why?
Stretch.
Were you? I gotta ask. Were you
what's
listening
about
to any of the criticisms we've already been talking about?
I mean, yeah, I was. I listened to a bit of it, and I can agree. There's some stuff wrong with it. Especially like there's a lot of plot conveniences in the movie, especially with what was given to Peter at the start of it. He had all this like technology. He had all this Edith. Yeah, he had even Edith. Edith was just like a big waste of time. You had this military grade technology, and you can't even like detect some shit. And the whole thing.
What's
with Mysterio
the
and
disagreement? I want to get to that. Like, what do you think is good about the film?
I think what's good about the film is seeing in real time Peter's actual like thoughts about what's happened to his dead mentor, him going through everything with his friends, and this male figure that reminds him of Tony shows up, and he thinks it's more capable within his hands, only to realize that at the end of the day, he was just getting manipulated into
Yeah, so I kind of see where you're going with this, what you just explained is just a concept for a character arc and a concept for what they're doing.
It is a concept, but it's been done like say moderately well in the movie.
I don't think it's executed well at all. So first things first, the way they go about Peter handling this quote unquote grief for Tony, and like him saying, "Oh, I'm not good enough" or whatever, that leads into a character assassination of Peter. Could have been good, but it's not, and it leads into a character assassination of Peter, which you said you've already heard reasons for, right?
Yeah.
Would you agree or disagree with those reasons?
I'm just trying to think, like through the movie when I watched it. I mean, I haven't really watched it recently. It's been like forever.
Oh God.
Yeah, but I can definitely see that with Peter, especially. But I would say when it's him going through that, you know, grief. I think it only came up with him being mentioned as Iron Boy Jr. at the start of the movie when he had the spider suit, when he was in that interview with Daily and shit. I think one of the better scenes was, oh, fuck, I forgot his name. Was it like Harvey or something?
It's Happy.
Happy.
Happy, yeah. The scene with Happy when he's walking through the flower fields, he's getting a new suit. That's I mean, it's kind of better scene with him and Tony, like they're going through like why Tony thinks of Peter as a worthy successor, and I think it's more like Peter trying to rise himself up to Tony when Tony wasn't this massive god, this perfect person that Peter always thought to be. He was more, well, he was a lot more grounded. I'd say a lot more grounded than Peter, because with Peter, at least he was born with abilities, or you know, he was given to him like way younger than Tony when he had to build the Iron Man suit to survive. It's
Okay,
more
so
what he thinks of himself versus what Tony really thought of him in the past.
So I have a problem with that. The scene that you're talking about, I think that scene fucking like it just sucks. Like I have it written down, my thoughts on it already, like from my video. It says nothing brought up is built up to in a way that makes sense. So the payoff, quote unquote, doesn't feel earned. And the way Tony is framed by Happy as being in the right for bringing Peter in during Civil War is really dumb, because it was a mistake that Tony made bringing Peter in when he was desperate for.
I mean, he was only 14, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's a problem with Civil War, but it's not something the movie necessarily treats as a good thing at all. But Far From Home treats it as a good thing, which is a problem. But also, he gives them the Edith glasses, which is stupid. When saying like he never second guessed anything with him, but he gave him the Edith glasses, which is dumb. And also, it says that Tony never second guessed Peter, but he very much did in both Infinity War and Homecoming.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, Peter starts making the suit, and we literally see the option for the Iron Spider suit. Yeah, no, wait, no, that's a different thing. They start playing AC/DC to obviously try to mirror Tony, but that's just completely counterproductive to the arc of not needing to be the next Iron Man to be good enough. So that's a really stupid part of that scene as well.
Yep. And with Edith as well, I think it was just a massive waste, because you have this like miracle tech pretty much that was given to Peter that can do anything, and yet can't just realize an illusion in front of him. That was like one of the things that a lot of people have been saying about that, right? Especially how stupid it was, like retcon.
The Edith thing was a retcon?
Well, it wasn't a retcon. It was just stupid how it was portrayed. That's
I mean, it
something I really
technically is a retcon, because it says that Tony made this shit like before he died. No, the Edith drones and stuff. Like, it says that he made that before he died. Yet, why weren't they in the Battle of Endgame?
Because reasons.
Exactly.
It was literally just a retcon. That's what I thought as well. But this goes on with No Way Home as well. So Edith, it said that Edith can see anything and everything that Peter is doing because it's on 24/7. So it should be able to see the illusion of Mysterio, pointing a gun at Peter's head and trying to kill him, and then seeing that illusion. But everyone's just like around, it's like, oh, Spider-Man's a criminal. He's a bad guy. Jameson was right. And that's just what I found stupid, especially with But the implications came from Far From Home.
Yeah, but No Way Home made it stick for some reason.
I mean, it did stick, but it was still kind of stupid in that way. Well, but I feel like the relationship between Mysterio and Peter. Sorry if I don't. I think his name was Quinlan, right?
Quentin.
That was. Yeah, sorry if I'm not really knowledgeable in like Mysterio lore, but I'll just call him Mysterio because it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
The relationship with him and Peter, I thought it was going well to a point where that being manipulated by him into thinking that he would be a lot better suit for Edith to protect the world, just so Mysterio can do his little shenanigans, in New York City, in London.
Well, one, I think the whole basis of that manipulation is just really stupid. Like, he needs that for his whole plan, and like, it's not even like for sure that Peter will just give up the glasses. And he shouldn't give up the glasses because he barely knows this guy. All he did was fight with him like once or twice. And he's ready to give him the most advanced security system on the fucking planet that Tony just gave to him. So it's just really dumb that he gives him those glasses. And I honestly don't even know how Mysterio expects his whole plan to work, just off the basis that he might be able to manipulate Peter. I don't even think he does a good job at manipulating him, quote unquote. Peter's just a moron.
And he doesn't even need to do that because he already has drones. He can make more drones if he needs to, and his drones can already cover an entire city.
I mean, he makes all these illusions with the drones. I don't really see why he needs Edith in the first place.
Exactly. All
I guess
it really
to
does is
get
it
more and
makes
more
it
drones.
bigger, which is like, you don't need that.
Yeah.
And also, if Edith is being monitored by S.H.I.E.L.D., which is a pretty fair assumption to make, that makes it worse for Mysterio if people can access it. Or if Peter's like, okay, fine, we'll have shared access to it.
Yeah, but even the implications of Edith, they're never really explained. You can't really assume that's something that can actually happen.
I'm sorry, what?
It's more like a, hey, this is Edith, I can do everything. Goodbye.
I don't know. I think with the abilities that Edith has and how they're presented, just break the movie either way. On multiple parts.
I mean, as soon as Peter got Edith, he should have won. Like everything, he just win, just keep winning. That's literally the point of Edith, just to be good at everything and be able.
Well, I don't know why he doesn't use Edith during the elemental fight.
To like get people.
I suppose it's maybe. Well, not even just that. I'm just talking about fighting against the elemental.
Oh, you can't because you have to keep it.
Oh, you're talking about Mysterio, yeah.
Yeah, but like, they can fly from a distance.
Well, I suppose.
I suppose. Yeah, I don't. He doesn't really know the full capabilities of them, I suppose. So yeah.
I mean, I thought the ending fight with Mysterio was a good scene to wrap up with.
I mean, it looked cool, but it's pretty stupid when you really think about it, because they can all go invisible and stuff. Yeah, and they're like, and like majority of them are kind of just sitting in the sky doing nothing.
Yeah, even in the hallway, you have like a wall full of drones. Ignoring the bullets, they can just keep using the concussive blasts and pushing him away. And Mysterio
or a
can go invisible
flamethrower,
and leave.
or a flamethrower, or the lasers.
Yeah. There's
Or
no
anything,
way
really.
that Spider-Man wins. That's just blatant plot armor. We've seen the drones can tag him, but 500 plus of them going invisible, he loses.
I mean, he doesn't. They don't even have to go invisible. He can just like surround the entire building with the drones and just tell them to continuously fire bullets.
Exactly.
And he just dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Is that everything?
I mean, that was everything. I mean, I didn't have anything on Deadpool and Wolverine because I did like the movie. It was a good movie.
All right. Thank you for coming on. Goodbye.
Of course, wouldn't miss it for the world. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
How was it inconsistent? It just wasn't mentioned, which was a kind of a negative of the movie, but it wasn't inconsistent. Let's see.
So I wanna go back to a comment that I got earlier. The ACDC thing was intentional. They made it clear he isn't the next Iron Man because he thought it was Led Zeppelin. That's not even how the scene frames it. That was just like a joke. Happy literally looks at him and he's like obviously reminiscing. He's like, what is it? He's like, nothing, but we know what Happy is thinking. And then they start playing the ACDC
why does Happy
thing.
play the song? Why does he choose it?
Well, yeah, but then they start playing it as he's working. Like, whether Peter knows what it is or not, it's like very clearly trying to draw a parallel to it. So it's just like,
Yeah,
what?
why couldn't we have a cool rendition of the MCU Spider-Man theme as he was making it? If you want to go the path of he's his own hero now, why not just double down on that? But okay. Next disagreement, Arkham Knight. The Arkham
Whether you thought the
Knight.
joke was funny or not, it's not about whether it's funny or not. It's about the intention for what it shows, how it's executed, what it's showing.
I got another
All
question though, Colin. Why aren't the drones in Far From Home? Why aren't they manned?
Well, I mean, maybe. Okay.
Oh, this
in
is great,
regards to-
Necromorph. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
We gotta do it. We gotta do it. Equal rights. Equal rights.
Equal rights is crazy.
Okay, let me be generous and say Mysterio just doesn't have any more materials to make more drones.
Why? He says
Well, I actually liked Arkham Knight. I liked Far From Home because it's got drones like Arkham
I don't
Knight.
like the movie.
And they aren't manned, which shows it's actually a very smart decision that they don't have manned drones.
Wait, Great Necromorph, why would he run out of materials when he says they're a wealthy crew?
Wait, how many drones do you think he has?
Hundreds.
Probably hundreds, and he could make more if he really needed to. They're a wealthy crew, and even if he had to steal money somehow, he can do that. You have invisible
Easily.
drones.
Very easily.
You literally can walk in a bank, go invisible, steal all this shit.
Okay, you
He could have
guys are
stolen from the
right.
Stark jet.
You guys are right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about. Is SK? Is it okay if I discuss Spider-Man 2 PS5 with you?
Jesus
Go
Christ.
ahead. Go ahead.
All right, so I guess we should start at like Teacher Parker.
Peacher?
Teacher Parker.
Peacher Parker.
You know, the beginning.
Teacher?
Yeah, okay,
you mean?
go on. Get on with it, you moron.
So your problem is that Peter, like, he shouldn't have chosen a job that interferes with his life as Spider-Man.
No, he shouldn't have chosen one with strict working hours, and there's teaching jobs that don't have that. Which is similar to what he had with Otto's.
I have a counter for that. But
Okay, like online tutors.
yeah, that's an example. Or recording lectures.
Okay, maybe they don't pay as much to cover like mortgage.
well, that's one thing. That's one thing, but another thing, I think that just makes it very clear is I think he has Miles like in the scene. He's like, "You sure this isn't something you can handle yourself?" Because he obviously knows what Miles is talking about when he says, "I need help" or something. Like, "You sure this isn't something?" Like, he's obviously having Miles do the Spider-Man work while he's at his job, and I think it's very apparent of where Peter wants to be but can't bring himself to currently, but he wants to be there. It's why when he gets the job from Harry, he's like, I don't have to be Spider-Man anymore. I have this thing. I can take this break. I can get my life together. Miles got it. It's all good. But he just can't bring himself to do that because things keep happening. But I think it's just showing where he wants to be, and where he eventually gets to by the end of the game. So that's why I think, while yes, him being a teacher is not ideal for him being Spider-Man, I think it's very much so a showing of where Peter wants to be, and him losing that is just kind of something that shows like, okay, well, now even this won't work. Maybe I'll never be able to get my life together because Spider-Man's just gonna keep conflicting over and over and over again, no matter how hard I try, and no matter how much I get help. But he obviously by the end of the game overcomes that.
I feel like you should already know that with how much experience he has. He's been at this for 10 years and didn't think something like this would have very likely have come up, even though he has different alternatives in order to make money. So it seems very strange to me.
So you said the experience thing, like he should know something like this, but I think the thing that you're missing is, like, remember in Miles Morales when he says, I did this job alone for however many years? It's like, I don't know how he could have expected like something like Sandman to happen again, or at least to that scale, because it's very apparent by the fight with Sandman that that's never happened before. He's more powerful than he's ever been.
I mean, you got
in
two
that
villains
fight
working together. That's already enough. I mean, Rhino himself alone was a two Spider-Man job.
villains?
Like a dumb guy in an armored Rhino suit was enough.
Right. But
Wait,
like, right. But like, fucking, what's it called? He has Miles for majority of the things that happen in the day-to-day life.
Yeah, but there's times where he's gonna have to interfere as well. And also, like,
Right, but I don't think he could have.
You're gonna have to keep this up for like a whole year or semester.
I mean, it depends on how much these kinds of things happen. Like,
Yeah,
where
and
it wouldn't just be one Spider-Man that needs to do the job.
From his perspective, this stuff happens a lot. I mean, it literally.
What?
I mean, Doc Ock would be enough for two Spider-Men. He's crazy in terms of what he could be planning.
No.
It's not even just in like the scale of what the person can do, but also their intelligence and what they can do as a result.
Right, but something like that wouldn't even be like. That would be a one, like actually beating them in a straight up fight would be like majority of the day-to-day life is a one Spider-Man job. Most of the two Spider-Man job, quote unquote, that doesn't even happen like what's the word? Frequently.
I don't think that,
as you're like implying it is.
well, I don't think that should really matter.
I'm saying well, I'm
not
saying
really
I'm sure there's a well, I'm saying one, we don't even know what Peter's schedule is as a teacher, right?
I assume it's probably one class a day.
I mean, I'm just saying we don't know the hours he works, right?
Yeah, I mean, in best faith, it's one class a day.
Right. So, I mean, it could be something like that. It could be a 2-hour job. So he takes 2 hours out of his day to do something while Miles handles stuff during that 2 hours or 3 hours, however long you want to put it. We can just good faith assume it's not that long of a working day for him, right?
Sure, yeah.
And if he's making better money than any other job teaching wise that he would be able to find, I just don't see the issue here.
Well, I feel like it also bleeds into another issue that Comic Legend and I talked about in regards to Oscorp. What he could do about Oscorp, how he can make money off it, how he could try to expose them in the process of it. But I feel like that's going to open a can of worms that leads into the Spider-Man 2 debate full on.
Well, I mean, we kind of just came to, I think the last time we kind of just came to an agree to disagree on that, because the way I always saw it.
What I'm saying is, I feel like I'm just gonna pause on this argument for now, for that reason.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Hold on, hold
fair
on.
enough.
Let me.
That's why
let
we
me
didn't
say
dedicate this to Spider-Man 2. We dedicated it to Far From Home and Deadpool and Wolverine.
All right. Well, great Necromorph has something to say, so I say we let him speak.
But you know, Spider-Man 2 is a sequel.
What?
Spider-Man sequel. Just like
So is
Far From Home, right?
So is Deadpool and Wolverine. What are you talking about?
Okay, next point.
Look at him giggling like a fucking schoolgirl.
Okay.
I think this is funny. You're laughing.
Wait.
There's men waiting in the Disagreement Day waiting room, and you're laughing about it.
So, SK,
No, I
didn't
think
you
we've had enough of your disagreements.
So didn't you and Chronos and Comic Legend complain about the webs should be affecting like Sandman's eyesight or something?
No more Spider-Man 2, Pippin. If that's all you got, that's a goodbye. You want the Spider-Man
Which
2 to be
Godzilla
so
movie
bad,
is your
you know,
favorite?
light the fires.
Godzilla -1 is like my favorite Godzilla movie by a long shot. Like by a country mile.
Oh, so no Spider-Man 2 discussion?
Yeah.
No, you're banned.
Okay, goodbye.
Thank God. Alright, Sonic Speed.
You're on the line.
I'll go easy on you because you have a Moon Knight profile picture. That's based.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna make this interesting. I wanna say the entire final act of Deadpool 3 sucks balls and it's completely nonsensical and it was not needed.
Okay, why?
Because first off, I think the whole 100 Deadpools fight was like completely meaningless. It didn't need to be in the film. I think Nice Pool was completely meaningless. I think the Time Ripper thing was rushed as hell, and you can really tell that they had no idea how to make it, how to like do anything. So yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the what do you mean by Nice Pool? The Nice Pool thing is meaningless?
Yeah, like no, Nice Pool's existence, like take him out of the movie, nothing changed. I don't think he needed to.
That's not true. He did need to be in the film because without him, they would have never found the Laura, Blade, Elektra. Why does it matter? They're just progressing the plot in a funny way. How did they get to Elektra, Laura, and this? Oh, they got it through this means. Oh, while we're at it, let's make a funny joke while we're progressing the plot. What's the problem?
I mean, sure, but I feel like they could have just made that better. Like they could have just used a more maybe recognizable Deadpool variant. Like instead of Nice Pool, they could have like maybe used Lady Deadpool, or I don't know, anyone. I just don't think his like character, like him existing, just is kind of.
So you're mad about so you're just mad about the difference in the cameo that they used.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't really care.
Okay. So I want to talk about
the 100 Deadpool thing you said, right? So why is that meaningless?
Because why how does it progress the plot in any way? I don't see it. Like they could have just went into Wade's Earth and immediately went to the Time Ripper and done all that.
So one, let's establish one thing. Cassandra Nova's established to be very sadistic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she likes to kind of do things to have fun. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we agree. So the only way for us to have a believable thing for Cassandra without her just ripping Wade and Logan apart, which she could do, but they would eventually regenerate. So the only way is to have an army of 100 people defending her so that no other people can get in while she's doing the Time Ripper thing, right?
I don't necessarily agree with the regeneration part. She said that she can destroy people on an atomic level, which is above anything Deadpool.
Where does she say that?
Yeah, she said that she can boil one's brains on an atomic level.
Okay. I mean, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
per se.
She said it during when she had the Juggernaut helmet on, and they were contemplating killing her.
I will boil. So I will boil your brains on an atomic level and then flick my bean. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That part. Hold on. Let me listen to the dialogue. Well, I mean, even while I'm listening to that, again, I think what's established with Cassandra's character is that she just finds this thing funny in like a sadistic way, him fighting 100 of himself, while she also uses it as security for herself from not just Deadpool and Wolverine, but potentially other people.
Security to who? Like apart from her?
What do you mean?
Like, wait. Okay. Even if you wanted to say that, I know she's like insane, but I think because all she wanted to do at this point was to get to the Time Ripper and destroy all of existence. Why couldn't she? Because she didn't want them in the way. Why couldn't she just kill them? Like, I know she's
I just
insane,
explained that to you.
Well,
I
mean, it's just does a sadistic person who wants to draw it out and torture their enemies, do they kill people immediately? That's not what they do.
I mean, even if she doesn't want to kill them immediately, I could just say that like she could torture them. Sure, not immediately, but I just that's why.
So then sending the Deadpool corp does make sense.
Yeah, but why couldn't she just do it herself instead?
We just explained
why
it.
the dead. Okay, yeah, but
sending 100 people to kill, sending 100 versions of yourself to keep you out and get your universe destroyed. That's pretty sadistic. I mean, if we want to use this line of reasoning, that feels like asking, well, why doesn't Green Goblin just kill Spider-Man immediately every single time? Yeah, he could at some points, but he has motivation not to. So at that point, that kind of trumps what they're capable of.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like it's the villain's decisions are all about if their decisions make sense with what their character's established to be. Like if you have something like Green Goblin, for example, if he's established as like wanting to torture Spider-Man, why would he just kill him immediately? That just kind of contradicts the whole thing.
Okay, fine. Okay, I got this other one. It's not really like crazy, but I feel like Wolverine putting on his mask when he's fighting all the Deadpools was kind of pointless. I feel like he could have put it on way earlier.
All right. Well, I mean,
okay,
that's a preference
I
thing.
don't care.
I'm not in the mood to go over that. It's always fine if you have that preference. It doesn't really matter.
Okay, how about that? Okay, what about the Time Ripper thing? They don't have a proper explanation on why they survived it.
They do.
Two things. Yeah, the one thing is, yeah, there's two of them. And they, combine their healing factors to fucking like do it.
I don't think it was their healing factors.
What?
I'm not sure I don't think it was their healing factors.
It was
well, you have two healing factors in play, acting against it instead of just one.
But we already kind of like established that I already said that like their healing factors aren't like on a level that they could like regenerate from antimatter destruction.
Well, can I explain the other two things?
Yeah.
Okay, so one, the timeline is weakened right now. Like the state of the matter in their universe in general is weakened right now. They explain that in the beginning of the movie that the timeline is dying, and then even after they do it, it still says that it's regenerating currently, so it doesn't even get back to its full state. And then the other thing is, besides the healing factor stuff that we just said, he's got the matter. I feel like the matter is kind of in a way counteracting some parts of the antimatter.
I mean, but they said when it mixes in their bodies, they were supposed to be like obliterated.
Yes, but
I mean, not
we have
necessarily.
two of them taking the brunt of it all.
Well, that doesn't change anything. That doesn't.
Well, it
that
does,
shouldn't
'cause
change
one of
anything,
them
really,
is
'cause-
taking more of the matter, the other's taking more of the antimatter. But because there's two of them and
Yeah,
they're
that's-
not directly contacting the antimatter or matter, there's
Yeah.
more leniency for their survival.
Wasn't the feeds that they were grabbing onto the matter and antimatter itself?
Yes, but Deadpool is more. He's touching the matter, I think, and Wolverine's touching the antimatter. He's taking more of the brunt of
No, it's
it.
the opposite.
Oh, okay.
I think it's the opposite. Doesn't really matter though.
Yeah, Deadpool's taking more of the antimatter. Wolverine's taking more of the matter.
Thank you for the $2, K. I do not have any Lego.
Yeah. All right. Okay. What? How? Okay. I got another one. What about the plot? The big plot hole with how there's like two Wolverines in Wade's universe at the end of the movie.
It's not a plot hole.
Why?
Why is it a plot hole?
Because like, well, okay. Because like, how are they allowing two How are they allowing two Wolverines in the thing?
It could have been for a courtesy.
They literally. They also say at the beginning of the movie or the end of the movie, whatever you did, it fixed it. So they're probably just letting them do that. Like whatever they did existentially fixed the timeline, so it's fine.
That's true. They could be looking into why it was fixed while he's in there, and they even said your work is.
And again, it's been established that like when stuff counteracts with the timeline, that's not supposed to happen. It what's it called? It's just creates a new it just creates a new universe / timeline.
Okay. Okay, I think I got this last one. I think the concept of anchor beings is stupid and useless.
Okay, why?
Because it's like, even if the anchor being dies, like the universe still lives on for another 1,000 millennia. What's the point? That you can save that for our universe too. Like in real life.
Difference? They'd have a life.
Yeah, but like.
The difference, the difference is we don't have. The difference is we have way longer than thousands of years right now. As it stands, scientifically. And the other thing is like how it's utilized in the movie and why it's even such an important thing. Like even when Deadpool says, "Oh, we have another 1,000 years," oh, whatever, I don't give a fuck. He says he switches his stance when. What's his name?
Paradox.
Paradox is like, no, I'm just gonna get rid of it now. So I don't see it's you have another couple 1,000 years for the universe to keep living while the anchor being after the anchor being dies, as opposed to however many years it was supposed to keep living.
Hey, but like, what's the point in having the universe still last that long?
The point is on a metatextual level. I don't think I need to explain what it means on a metatextual level, do I? Okay, so yeah, but in the textual level, that sets the stakes for the movies.
For the 1,000 millennia after it dies, that's the stakes? I thought like.
No, the stakes are Paradox doesn't want to wait that long. He wants to do it now. That's the stakes.
Yeah, I know, I agree with that, but I'm talking about like without, let's say, Paradox decides not to use the Time Ripper and just wait that long.
Then we wouldn't have a movie, but that's not what happens.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the concept of anchor beings being like, or having a meaning like in verse. It's just when you kind of think about it, just.
Well, the main point of them being there is again mostly for the metatextual thing, but it also again sets the stakes for the in-text story. I just don't see what's so hard to understand about this.
Okay, alright.
Okay.
That's all.
Alrighty.
Alright, goodbye.
I suppose this will be the last.
We got one more.
Hello?
Dresden, what is disagreement and tell me why? Also, change that profile picture.
My disagreement is that Arkham City is mid.
Okay, why is it mid?
The map, I personally dislike it. I think it's pretty bland, colorless. It's pretty boring.
What? What? How?
It's just gray. That's the entire map.
No,
except for Joker.
It's not.
That's it.
It's just blatantly not. There's numerous neon signs, destroyed buildings, fucking bridges that are destroyed. There's fire and shit all over the street that makes it look like a prison and stuff, and a place that was taken over by criminals and stuff. Like, what? How is that bland? It shows what it's supposed to be showing, and it adds some style to it.
Just bland if you look at it next to Asylum, Origins, or Night.
Origins looks worse. Okay, it's...
This.
Okay, why else is
Alright.
it mid? Why else is it mid?
The story.
Why is the story mid?
The whole game is damn near a fetch quest.
Okay, that boy Aqua, where'd you get that from?
It's full of just go get this for the cure, go get that, and then Freeze, being a dumbass for no
disagree
reason,
because,
breaks the cure.
Well, okay, so Freeze breaks the cure because he wants to ensure Batman's cooperation.
Batman would help anyways.
He doesn't trust
Nora's
him.
innocent.
He doesn't trust him.
Why?
Because Batman has tried to stop him many times, and from Mr. Freeze's perspective, he's doing everything for Nora.
Was it that boy Aqua that said this? Because I know for a fact you got
It
this
doesn't matter.
criticism from someone.
We're on one at a time.
No. Nora's an innocent person. I don't know why Bruce would not help her. It makes no sense.
Mr. Freeze doesn't
my
trust
God.
Batman. That's the point. From his perspective,
And the
he
other
does
point
everything
is
for
that
Nora, and Batman keeps trying to stop him.
He trusts the Joker?
No, he doesn't.
No.
I don't know. It's not even the worst offense. The worst offense is Hugo.
Okay.
Alright, what's the...
Hugo was a
offense of
letdown. Hugo was just a puppet for Raish, which is just super disappointing.
Okay. He has... That's
I mean,
not
a
really like...
preference thing. If it's a preference, that's, you know... I guess that's fine.
Well, I mean,
just
it's not like he
overall
doesn't have his own motivations.
Well, yeah, he still has his own motivations. That's how he gets backstabbed to begin with, and he has Protocol 11 to get back.
10. Protocol 10.
No, 11.
And he
11
was
is what he
given
uses to try and kill
promises,
Raish.
So it's not like he's just a sock puppet.
Okay. Is that
Alright. Yeah, I guess that's all.
Alright. Thank you
Okay.
for coming on.
Just
Yeah.
saying I'm just
Sorry
saying
for all
future...
the technical issues earlier.
All good.
Oh, good. Just saying for future reference, you should make your points yourself.
I did.
I'm sure. All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Alright, well, that's all we got for now. Before we end off, I need to mention something. I got a DM from Smokey. He said he was finishing Far From Home. He says, not gonna lie, just rewatched the movie and heard y'all's points and yeah, I'm cooked. I'll wait for the TASM debate. Shit's a 5 out of 10 at best. I submit. He gave up. If you make a decision and you back out of it, you're a coward. Smokey has given up. He has bent the knee. Alright. That's all we got. Thank you all for coming on. I guess I'm gonna head off. Maybe I'll bully Kairito in the car. I feel like bullying him. Yeah.